This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
Did you hear what I said? Come on, man. What's wrong with you?
Huh? It's a house!
Well, there it goes. There it goes. Well, how's everybody doing? This is something I was thinking about a while ago. So it took me like 3 hours after the show last night and most of the day just to get this in the order that I wanted to do. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Allie79.
Cheers.
There you go.
Drinks, clinking glasses, clinking.
And by the way,
peanuts.
thanks up there to Dobby Smith. Yours always is so early that it doesn't show up on the goal. So thank you. Wow, so here's what I did. I went through, you know, there's a probable cause document that we've gone through, but you know how the timeline isn't really in there. It's sort of like all over the place. So I went through and found all the different, everything in the correct, put it all in order. And even everything, you know, stuff that, like the letter that Kohberger got from, you know, when he got fired and all that kind of stuff. And man, it's crazy how it just totally, there's this whole picture, you just feel it, you know. It's wild. So hopefully you guys find it interesting. I mean, I just have a text file that has all of the notes in it. So we'll just have to kind of bounce back and forth. Yeah, so if there's anybody out there that's sort of confused about anything, you should have them come watch this right now. And hopefully their brains, you know, catch up to reality. And I mean, I do have some videos and whatnot, but I mean, we've all seen the loops and everything. I don't think I have to play that again. Let me make sure I've got. Yesterday. Yeah, I'm just trying to find that one image that I wanted. So I'll just wait for people to show up here, but I gotta go look for something really quick. There. Copy. Alright, there we go. Alright, you guys ready? There's Blue and Chloe over there. I just gave them one of those little bacon snacks. They ate it. And thank you, Texas Annie up there. Alright. So, here, let's go. I just kind of wanted to wait for more people to get here, but maybe there won't be. You know, I mean, it just depends night to night how many people show up. If there's somebody else talking about how Bryan Kohberger bought a Snickers bar 6 years ago, there'll be 9,000 people watching. Hey, thanks, Humanimal.
Looking forward to the common sense timeline analysis. So much manipulative junk these days in TC.
Yeah, no, this is pretty sweet. I have to admit. I mean, it took me, there might be a thing here or two that I missed or whatever, but I'm really trying to put together all of the elements that are sort of, somewhat related to the case. Even some things that aren't really, like some of the body camera footage and everything like that. What are you talking about, Zozo? And then he cut it into tiny pieces and put it in the the thing that I was just talking about. the Snickers bar. Yeah, those Snickers bars, man, that gets you in trouble every time. Hey, thanks, Maxine Van Dyke. All right, here we go. So, I mean, I'm sort of in the way over. I can just move this over here, though. It's not a big deal. So, I'll just read the first part here. 2022, November 13th, there was a quadruple homicide at 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho. The murdered individuals were Ethan Chapin, Zana Kernadel, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Madison Mogan. The two surviving roommates were Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. Both were in their rooms during the murders. How do you know, Gray? How do you know? Because they were. All right. Anyways, on June 23rd, 2022, Kohberger opens his cell phone account in Pullman, Washington. That's when he, got the cell phone, the phone number and everything like that. And then on August 16th, 2022, law enforcement shows up to 1122 King Road to give a verbal warning for noise. Then just 5 days later, on August 21st at 10:34 p.m. Through 11:35 p.m., this is just 5 days later, Kohberger's phone utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to 112 King Road. See, this is why I wanted to do this, because you see how that's sort of important right there? So what I'm using is the cell phone cast data that's sort of randomly strewn throughout the probable cause, and now you get a different sort of a picture here. Right? So just 5 days after this, he's hanging around for an hour at night in August when it's dark outside in Pullman, utilizing the same cell tower that the 1122 King Road address uses. All right. Then also on August 21st, that same night, literally 2 minutes after his, the phone ping information, Latah County Sheriff's Deputy Corporal Duke's body cam and report showed Bryan Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger was the sole occupant and was driving a white 2015 Hyundai Elantra. So now you've got, there's his vehicle over there. It was him. Okay, so it's the same night. This is the cast information here, the 10:34 to 11:35. And then, if no connection, there's no. Okay, I got to get rid of this guy. I'm not going to have another person like this on here. So, anyways, 11:37, this Latah County police officer pulls him over, and it was a white 2015 Elantra because it was the cast information is his cell phone. So not only do they have a cell phone, they have Bryan Kohberger himself because he happened to be pulled over that very same night. And the tag on his vehicle was set to expire November 30th, 2022. So then Kohberger provided his phone number, which ended in 8458. Kohberger's phone utilized resources consistent with this traffic stop as well at Farm Road and Pullman Highway. So that was right here. So as he's leaving, so isn't that crazy? Like, they actually have him where his phone's pinging around this area because it's utilizing the same towers that 1122 King Road uses. Right? Then right here, he gets pulled over on his way back to Pullman, Washington. Are you guys finding this? I mean, I'm just doing it in a way where everything is in order. If you read the probable cause, the ping information, the cast information is brought up later, and it's sort of it ties back. But I think it's better to do it like this. Ah, jeez. So should I just stop it then? 8675309. Let's see. I'm not sure, but it's just weird, man. Everybody it's interesting as hell if you just listen to it. All right, man. You guys are just such downers for like doing these shows. It's unbelievable. All right. So, anyways, you've got the. I just explained to you how the phone pinged right here at near the 1122 King Road, and then just moments later, as he's leaving, it pinged at a different location at Farm Road and Pullman Highway there. All right. So then, that was on August 21st. Then on September 1st, at 10:50 p.m., law enforcement shows up to 1122. Hey, thanks, brown-eyed girl. Law enforcement shows up to 112 King Road for a noise complaint. So that's the one where, I think that's the one where they show up and nobody's there, but Madison Mogan gets on the phone, and in the background you hear her voice talking to one of the officers. Then that same night at 12:40, just an hour and 50 minutes later, law enforcement shows up to 112 King Road again with another noise complaint, and that's when Xana Kernodle came out and talked to law enforcement. All right, so I'm going to go through this sort of quickly, and then we can go back through it again slower if you want to. Yeah. Then on September 23rd, so 3 weeks after that, Kohberger has an altercation with a faculty member. Then October 3rd, Kohberger meets with a Professor Snyder to discuss norms of professional behavior. Then on 10/14, Bryan Kohberger was detained in another traffic stop by a WSU officer. Kohberger was the sole occupant driving a 2015 White Elantra plates LFZ 8649. I think it might have been like an Idaho officer. No, I think it was WSU officer. So then on 10/21, Professor Snyder emailed Kohberger about how he had failed to meet the expectations of teacher's assistant. Then on 11/2, November 2nd, not too long before the murders, graduate director met with Kohberger to discuss an improvement plan. Then 11/3, Kohberger agrees to the improvement plan via an email. And then Kohberger's phone utilized the same cellular resources as 1122 King Road at least 12 times prior to November 13th, 2022. All of these occasions were in the late evening, but one of them. So that means 12 times he was out there prior to November 13th, and all of them were late at night except one. What do you mean I'm muted? I'm muted? Hello? What do you mean I'm muted? What does that mean? Can you guys not hear me, or? Well, no, I wasn't saying you were talking to me. It's 67509. I'm just saying, come on, I just want to get through this because it's really interesting if you pay attention to it. Okay? So when you get anybody that's in there that appears to be a troll, just time them out. Okay? I don't have time today. All right, I'm kind of just stressed out. I mean, it took me so long to put this together, and just kind of got at the very end, just finished it at the end. All right? So sorry if I'm coming off as not as pleasant as I normally am. I mean, I know I'm very pleasant. Yeah, followed by the. All right. Okay. So, are you guys with me here? We went through all these things in order. And I'm putting in just when they happened, and it starts telling you a story. Because if you think about it, right here, Kohberger's already in trouble on 11/3 with his work, right? But he's already been stalking. He's been there 13 times, all the way to the 1122 King Road residence. Then on November 12th at 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. on, let's see, it's until 2022 11/13. So it's like, hey, thanks, Kathy. Cheaped. So it's 9 p.m. on 11/12 to 1:45 a.m. on 11/13. So it's just kind of the same evening, but it's in the early morning hours of the 13th. Now, Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were attending a Sigma Chi fraternity party at 735 Next Purse Drive. I think it's supposed to be like Ness Purse, if I remember right. But anyways, Bethany Funk estimated that Ethan and Xana returned to the King Road residence at 1:45. So, you know, Ethan and Xana were at the Sigma Chi party, and Bethany thinks that they left to go home at around 1:45. Then, simultaneously to that, from 10 to 1:30 a.m. on November 13th, at, I think it ends up being, yeah, so it's 10, let me move this p.m. over here. Just a second, this should be right there. Yeah, 10:30, or 10 o'clock p.m. to 1:30 a.m., Kaylee and Madison were at the Corner Club. Not long after that, Kaylee and Madison went to the Grub Truck at 318 Main Street. So you guys remember all those videos from that time frame. I think I have some of them right here. Let's see. Well, I have this is the one where they're walking back. This is on News Nation right here. But see, that's when they're walking back from the Corner Club. A guy named Jack, and Kaylee's in the front, and Madison is in the back there. That's the famous, "What did you say to Adam?" That turns out it has nothing to do with anything, but it did seem sort of interesting at the time. And then they go to the Grub Truck, and when they get to the Grub Truck, they order some food. So right here, I have that in there, and the probable cause mentioned that it was 1:30, but there's an actual precise time that's out there, so I put that in there. So Kaylee and Madison were at the Corner Club. Not long after that, Kaylee and Madison went to the Grub Truck at 318 Main Street. At 1:43 a.m., Madison and Kaylee arrive at the Grub Truck, leaving 10 minutes later at 1:53 a.m. Kaylee and Madison leave the Grub Truck with the food they purchased and received a ride home from a private party. They arrived home just 3 minutes later, it sounds like. And it's really close. It was only 0.75 miles anyways. They could have walked, but that would have taken 12 or 13 minutes. So they arrive at the home at 112 King Road at 1:56. Then I think it was Dylan Mortensen, or Bethany Funk actually, said that all the residents were at home by 2 a.m. Then at 2:26 a.m. to 2:52 a.m., Kaylee calls her boyfriend 7 times. Then Madison tried calling Jack, the boyfriend, 3 times as well, from 2:44 a.m. to 2:52 a.m. And the order, I think, was that Kaylee called 6 times, then Madison called 3 times, and then Kaylee called one last time at 2:52 a.m. Right? And then I have right here at 2:42 a.m. cell data. So right in between this time when Kaylee and Madison are trying to call Jack, at 2:42 a.m. cell data obtained via the FBI, using the CAS system, showed Kohberger's phone utilizing cellular resources consistent with Bryan Kohberger being at home. Okay, so right at the same time that they're calling Jack, the boyfriend, he's still at home, right? But then, at 2:44 a.m., Kohberger's white Elantra is seen. I'm going to keep saying, because he says that is his Elantra, okay? he says, oh, I just drive around at night. That's why you see my car all over the place. Okay, so it's not the suspect vehicle number 1 anymore. It's none of that shit. It is Bryan Kohberger's vehicle. So 2:44 a.m., Kohberger's white Elantra is seen on camera traveling north on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington. So let's go over there really quick. I know exactly where it is. Right in here. So he's right there is Nevada Street. He's going north on Nevada Street. Did he pull into a parking lot right over here, maybe there or here or something? Hang out for a few minutes? Don't know. I have no idea. So Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington. And Pullman, Washington is the home of the Washington State Cougars and is about 8 miles from Moscow, Idaho, the home of the University of Idaho Vandals, in case you didn't know. Then at 2:47 a.m., Kohberger's phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage southeast of his residence, showing he has left the residence and is heading south in Pullman. Hey, thank you, Cali Gal 3. So see how that really helps there? See, when you don't put it together, you don't see it. But when you see right here where this is a camera footage right here of 2:44. Then right after that, 2:47, his phone actually pings in the same general area because he lives right over here, right? And southeast is right down here. So his phone is utilizing cellular information in the exact same area that the white Elantra is being seen moving around down here. Okay? Thank you, Cali Gal 3. Then at 2:47 a.m., Kohberger's phone stops reporting, and then right at that same moment, okay, his phone stops reporting to the network, which means I type these so fast. He turned his phone off or put it in airplane mode or in an area without coverage, okay? But he's in Pullman and there is cell phone coverage, therefore it's most likely it was turned off or in airplane mode. There isn't, I mean, it's not like you can, there's very few places in the middle of the city of Pullman, Washington where you're not going to have cell phone coverage, okay? And then not only that, it stays off for hours. So it's obvious that he turned it off. Not hours, but like an hour and a half. So he turned it off. Then at 2:53 a.m., Kohberger's white Elantra is seen on camera traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington. So at that point, his phone has been turned off. So doesn't that just seem logical that at like at 2:44 he drives over here and he just really starts doing his checklist? He's sitting around even in this parking lot or right there even. I mean, it's so simple. Just boom, boom, pull in there. And you just sit there and he's going through his checklist. And at 2:47, 3 minutes after he made this turn, he turns off his phone because he's preparing to go on his mission. Does that make sense? Because it does to me. I mean, when you think about that, at 2:44, he turns right here. And now he's going to pull over for a few minutes. And he's going to get things ready. 3 minutes later, he turns off his phone at 2:47, and then he does whatever else he's doing, and then he drives this way, and at 2:53 he heads down like this, okay? So 2:53, Kohberger's white Elantra is seen on camera traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington, towards SR 270. Yes, so when you go on that road, there's a few different ways. You can take it right there, come down, wind around, you come out right here on 270, or go around like this, and you come out on 270. Then, at 3:26 a.m., Kohberger's white Elantra is driving in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive, heading west. So that's right over here. So now, Kohberger's vehicle is right there, heading west. And then at 3:28, Kohberger's white Elantra is spotted on surveillance camera at the A&W at Steiner and Idaho State Highway 95. This video showed the vehicle did not have a front license plate. So from there, 2 minutes later, he comes up here and he's spotted on this A&W camera heading in this direction right towards the 1122 King Road address. Hey, thanks. Catherine Talk. That one's hard to say. Or to read and say, I guess. All right. Then at 3:29 a.m., Kohberger's white Elantra enters the area. So when they say area, to me it seems like they're talking about... oh, I guess I do have that up there anyway. Jeez. So when they enter the area, what they're talking about is, I just think right around in here. Like 3:29, there's another camera in this area, like on these buildings, showing the Elantra coming by. Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Alright. Alright, and then Kohberger's white Elantra makes 3 initial passes. I just have a note there. So here we go. At 3:31 a.m., pass number 1. White Elantra travels down Queen Road and behind 500 Queen Road, then around in front of 1122 King Road, then out of the area via Willanta Drive. So, if we go back, I guess since this is open, let me see if I can find it. Now this is the first one. See that? It comes around. You see the vehicle right there. It loops around. So it's going from behind the building there. And let's get out Google Earth. And what it's really doing is it's coming down this road right here. And there's this little narrow road, driveway, whatever you want to call it, behind here. And then he would just come out here, and I think he would wait for a minute, 2 or 3 minutes, and monitor and look at the house. Then he would drive out this way via Willanta Drive. All right? And he did that 3 times in a row. Or actually 2 times in a row, and the third time there's a longer time that's missing, so it's possible that that's when he went, if this gas station image is his vehicle, that he took a right, extended the time out, and then came back 8 minutes slower than the other 2 loops. All right. So pass number 2 is at 3:39. White Elantra travels down Queen Road and behind 500 Queen Road, then around in front of 1122 King Road, then out of the area via Willanta Drive. So I have the same thing written on this one, but it there's more time. See, if you notice, it's 31 to 39, then 57, almost exactly double. So it's possible that he just sat and waited longer in front of 1122 King Road, or he drove out, and that's why there's a image of him at a gas station. Don't know. Let's see. So then it was at 4 a.m., DoorDash. So right at that same time. So 3:57 a.m., that's pass number 3. It does the loop. So check out how crazy this is. So 3:57, he goes like this, around this way, and then obviously leaves the area again. But then just 3 minutes later, or who knows, because it's just around 4, DoorDash delivers a meal to Xana Kernodle. And, the footage actually proves that he isn't the DoorDash driver, right? I mean, the fact that there's still looping going on. And then here we go at 4 a.m., Dylan Mortensen says she awoke to the sound of what she thought was Kaylee playing with their dog. That's at 4. I don't think this is 4 o'clock. I said this is more likely 4:09 to 4:10. I don't think that's 4 o'clock. I think that might even be the time. This is just my opinion here. They say 4 o'clock. I think that's 4:09 to 4:10. He got into the house. I think he went upstairs first, and I think that sounded like somebody playing with the dogs. It was him attacking the girls upstairs. That's what makes the most sense. And we know that the and well, see, this is the order they have it in. So I have it at 4 o'clock right here, but I would actually say that's 4:09 or 4:10. So I would move this down, but I can't because it says 4. All right, so I'm just doing it as accurate as they have it, but I think it's 4:09 to 4:10. Then Kohberger's white Elantra makes a 4th and final pass. So first at 4:06, pass number 4, while white Elantra travels down Queen Road again and behind 500 Queen Road, number 52, and turns around and goes west down Queen Road towards the intersection of King and Queen Road. So what that one did, it was starting off doing the same thing that all of them had done before. He went this way, but then instead he does like a again in this parking lot, a 3-point turn, and then drives back this way. And then right here performs a 3-point turn and goes back this way again. So he's heading towards the intersection of King and Queen Road, which is right there. And then at 407, the white Elantra does a 3-point turn at the intersection of Queen and King Road, and then continues back east down Queen Road, re-initiating pass number 4 by traveling down Queen Road and behind 500 Queen Road. So after he turns around, he goes back this way, comes back around, and this is when the vehicle stops for 12 minutes. It sat right here. Now, right in what you can say is right here. Right in this area. I guess you could actually add that in. Just like that, Kohberger's vehicle was in this area for 12 minutes. All right. So pass number 4 was completed. Near or in the part. So right here, I pulled that in. I just wrote out, I think it's right around 408, because it was 407 and 30 seconds when the vehicle went by that camera in the parking lot here at 1320 Linda Lane. It went right by here at about 407 and 30 seconds. So I'm going to say it parked at 408. Okay? I think that's pretty reasonable. Thanks, American Lady. And yes, if you guys like to help support the channel tonight, I didn't do any shows during the day or anything like that, so I'd appreciate it. Thank you. You guys all know what happens at the end of the month. I don't want to have to say it again for the 3,798th time. Let's see. So 408, pass number 4 completes near or in the parking area adjacent to 1122 King Road and is parked there for approximately 12 minutes, in which time Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez were all murdered with a sharp force instrument. I'll put that in there. Okay. So there it is. While the car is stopped for 12 minutes, it is, that's when all 4 of them were killed. And then here we go at 4:12 a.m. Xana is using TikTok, and Dylan hears who she thinks is Kaylee say, "There's someone here." See, isn't that amazing? See, I think when you make it 4:09 and 4:10 that I said earlier, this all makes more sense now. That there wasn't 4 o'clock up here when Mortensen says she woke to the sound of what she thought was Kaylee. That's more like 4:09 and 4:10, because that's when he came in and he went directly upstairs. And he probably attacked them right then. All right, then at 4:12, Xana, so then you could see that maybe Xana says something like, "Hey, there's somebody here," right? Because she might have heard what was going on upstairs or something, some movement, something like that. So Xana's using TikTok, and Dylan hears who she thinks is Kaylee say, "There's someone here," but this could have been Xana since she was still awake, having just received the DoorDash. Dylan looks out her door but sees nobody. Dylan hears someone say, "It's okay, I'm here to help." That is likely Kohberger, is what I wrote. I mean, that is like, to me, 100% Kohberger saying that sentence. And then at 4:17 a.m., at 1112 King Road security camera picked up what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. And let me throw that camera shot up on the screen again. So you look how clear the 1112 King Road image is. And this is where the 3-point turn would have been done, right there, and the car went by. So that's why when law enforcement has this video, and they have the other video at the 1320 Linda Lane, and you link them together, it just absolutely tells the story right there. So that's where the car would have turned around and went like this. This camera is about 60 feet away from Xana Kernodle's room, and it picked up audio on this camera. So that was at 417 King Road. Security camera picked up what sounded like voices or a whimper followed by a loud thud. At approximately 4:17 a.m., Dylan opens her door, and I'm saying that because the car speeds away at 4:20, so I'm saying at approximately 4:17 a.m., Dylan opens her door for the third time. After she heard the crying or whimpering, she saw a figure clad in black clothing, a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose, walking towards her. Dylan described the person as 5'10" or taller, and Kohberger's 6 foot, you guys. That's actually what it says on his license. People are like, he's 6'4", man. He's a, at 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The person walked out the back sliding glass door. All right, so guess where that person's heading? Right up the hill there to get into the car that was parked there for 12 minutes. Does that make sense? And guess whose car it was? It was Kohberger's, because he said it was his. He likes to drive around. And then at 4:20 a.m., Kohberger's white Elantra departs the King Road residence area at a high rate of speed. Kohberger's white Elantra heads south on Walenta Drive. So that means he's right here, Walenta Drive, like this. He heads this direction, and he goes all the way down to here. And I just put 4:25 because that's how long it takes to get there using Google Maps. So approximately 4:20, Kohberger's white Elantra departs the King Road residence area at a high rate of speed. Kohberger's white Elantra heads south on Walenta Drive. Then at approximately 4:25 a.m., Kohberger exits the area at Conestoga Drive and Palusa River Drive. At 4:48 a.m., Kohberger's phone utilizes resources that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95 south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine, Idaho. So isn't that amazing, everybody? There's this white Elantra coming out at 4:25 right here, and then here's Highway 95, and just like 6 miles down the road, 7 miles down the road, he turns his phone on, and it pings right in this area off a cell tower near Blaine, Idaho, on its way down in this direction. So now we have his phone in the area as well as his vehicle. Then at 4:50 a.m. to 5:26 a.m., Kohberger's phone utilizes cellular resources consistent with his phone traveling south on Highway 95 to Genesee. It then I think I need to put travel. It then travels west to Uniontown, Idaho, and then north to Pullman, Washington. So what they're saying there is not only did it ping right there, it continued to ping off of various towers all the way down here randomly. Not really randomly because he's driving this direction. All around here, Genesee's right there, and heads back up this way. Okay, so he's heading back into Pullman, Washington. Then at 5:25 a.m., Kohberger's white Elantra is visibly seen on multiple cameras, returning to Pullman, Washington. And it's first time it's seen is at 1300 Johnson Road, north on Bishop Boulevard, northwest of SR 270. And that is right here. Right in this spot. So one of these buildings has a camera, and the car is going like this. So it's definitely coming back from somewhere, right, you guys? I mean, it's not like it was seen right here and you're not sure. It's right here because it had gone this whole trip from all the way around this whole thing, and he's on his way back. At 5:25, his phone is seen. His car is seen on a camera right there. All right. Then at 5:27, Kohberger's white Elantra is again seen traveling north on Stadium Way at Nevada Street, Grimes. Let me see if I can. I think I think this made it. Tab it in. Yeah, Grimes Street, Wilson Road, and Cougar Way. So 3 more cameras picked him up. Then at 5:30 a.m., Kohberger's phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Pullman, Washington. So the CAS system, I'm putting this in the correct time frame. It's now showing that his phone is using the cellular data is consistent with the video evidence of Kohberger's car returning back to Kohberger's residence. So as his his vehicle returns back to the area, his phone is also pinging. Yeah. All right. So then there's no other information because at this point, all 4 of the Idaho victims are dead in their apartment, and nobody's done anything yet regarding them. Then at 9 a.m., Kohberger's phone leaves Pullman, Washington. Between 9:12 and 9:21, Kohberger's phone utilizes resources that cover the 1122 King Road residence. So for 9 minutes, he's in that area generally. And is he checking to see the police presence at that time? We don't know. Then at 9:32 a.m., Kohberger's phone utilizes resources consistent with his phone traveling back to the area of his residence. So there you go. Then at 12:36 p.m. that same day, so 3 hours later or so in the early afternoon, Kohberger's phone utilizes cell resources that provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe coffee stand at 810 Port Drive, Clarkston, Washington. U.S. Chef Store, and at the same time, the U.S. Chef Store located at 820 Port Drive, Clarkston, Washington, that's adjacent to Kate's Cup of Joe, showed Kohberger's vehicle drive past Kate's Cup of Joe at a time consistent with the use of the cell resources of Kate's Cup of Joe. So, later in the day, he drives all the way down here, and this is Kate's Cup of Joe right here, and as his cell phone connected to the resources here, the this U.S. food chef store here picked him up on camera, the same white Elantra, Bryan Kohberger's. Okay, then at 12:46, Kohberger's phone utilizes cell resources in the area of Albertson's grocery store at 400 Bridge Street in Clarkston, Washington. Then at 12:49, 3 minutes later, Kohberger is seen on camera exiting his white Elantra. And that's right here at the Albertsons. He pulls in at, utilizes the same resources at 12:46. He's seen getting out of his vehicle at 12:49 on camera. So now you have his car, his phone, and his face all connected to the same thing. So he exits the Elantra. Then at 12:50 to 1:04 p.m., Kohberger is seen on internal surveillance cameras inside of the Albertsons, walking through the store and purchasing unknown items at the checkout. Then at 1:04, Kohberger leaves Albertsons. Then between 5:32, and then his phone is turned off, obviously, at some point. Because between 5:32 and 5:36 p.m., his phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Johnson, Washington. So that is right here. They put Johnson, Idaho, and that caused a problem, but then it was fixed later. So that's not where it is. Johnson, Idaho's right, or Washington's right here. And there's a cell tower right here. So I think that might be what's, how the phone pinged. But it only pinged for 4 minutes. And so it makes you wonder what he was doing. And it says, at 5:36 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., the phone stops reporting to the network. This is consistent with Kohberger's phone being in the area that his phone traveled immediately after the homicide. So I guess they're saying that his phone was pinging sort of in that area south, and it was consistent with that. Then at 4 p.m. That day, Corporal Brett Payne and Sergeant Blaker responded to 1122 King Road to assist with scene security and processing of the crime scene associated with 4 homicides. A K-Bar USMC Eagle Globe and Anchor insignia knife sheath was found under a quilt on the bed on the right side of Madison's body. Hey, thank you, Bridget Bauman. They also found footprints with a diamond shape, but that was on a different trip. I couldn't find exactly what date that was. Yeah, the troll fund, everybody. Come on, you got to admit, like, this is pretty super chat worthy here, don't you think? And then on the 14th, Kohberger's phone connected to cell tower that provides service to Moscow, but his phone wasn't, is what I meant to put here, wasn't in Moscow. See, it says right there.
Work on this timeline. Great.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, no, it took a long time to put everything in the right order. I'm always nervous there's something not in the right order still, but
Troll fun, get him out, kick him out, way out. Wave, ocean wave.
yeah. Alright, so anyways, Kohberger's phone connected to a cell tower that provides service to Moscow, but his phone wasn't in Moscow. See, that's sort of interesting to me because that's exactly what I was theorizing before on another videos. The reason the timing is 8 minutes shorter from here to here and back is because where the phone pinged isn't exactly right at the house or right at their house. So what if he did drive kind of over in this area, but he never really went into the city of Moscow? Like, he's not picked up on camera. Don't know. That was on the 14th.
Troll fun.
Thanks,
ocean
Daphne.
Wave, ocean wave.
Then on November 18th, Bryan Kohberger's registered his vehicle and later received Washington. So this is the day that he registered his vehicle on the 18th and later received Washington plate number CFB 8708. Prior to this, it was registered to Pennsylvania, which they don't require front plates there. And then on 11/21, Bryan Kohberger's birthday. I mean, kind of randomly right there, but I just saw it and I was like, oh, I'll just throw it in the timeline. Then 11/25, Moscow Police Department, for his birthday, put out a bolo for a white Hyundai Elantra. Then 11/29, at 12:28 a.m., WSU police officer Daniel Tiengo I altered the format so that everything's kind of moved around in a different spot. Hold on. Okay. He located a white Elantra with Pennsylvania plate LFZ 8649. The vehicle was registered to Bryan Kohberger. Kohberger lived at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 201. This is 3/4 of a mile from the intersection of Stadium Way and Cougar Way. Yeah, so let's see. This is what they're trying to in this one is they're just saying that's how close it was to where his phone pinged on the day that he, like when he returned back from the murders at around 5:30. And then in 2022. At 12:58, WSU Curtis Whitman was looking for a white Elantra that same night. Sorry, I'm not sure why this is not indented anymore. Maybe if I can't make it wider. I think when I made it, I zoomed in on it. It made that look. So I'll just go like this, and however you want to view it. So anyways, WSU officer Curtis Whitman was looking for white Honda Elantra and located a 2015 Hyundai Elantra at 1630 Northeast Valley Road. And again, I'm typing really fast, so you're going to see a whole bunch of little errors like that. And it still took me hours and hours. In Pullman, in the parking lot of 1630 Northeast Valley Road, the plates were ran, and it turned out to be Bryan Kohberger with a Washington tag. License showed Kohberger is 6 feet and weighs 185 pounds. The photo also indicated Kohberger had bushy eyebrows. This matches the statement made by Dylan Mortensen. Then on December 7th, just 8 days after that officer found his vehicle, both of them found the same vehicle on the same night after the bolo was put out. So on 12/7, Kohberger met with Snyder, which is like runs the I think his teacher's assistant program. He met with Snyder and Dr. Willits to discuss the progress, and they noted that there was progress. They said, "Oh yeah, you've made some progress on your, because if you look at the timeline at the very beginning at the top, he had issues with his teachers, and here they said that he made some progress." Then on 11/12, Kohberger, then let's see, that was 11/7. Then 12/9, just 2 days later, Kohberger had another altercation with Professor Snyder. So I think that's the professor he's a TA for. And then Kohberger was emailed on the 11th. He was emailed about a meeting request by department head. So after he had another altercation, 2 days later, they said, "Hey, come in. We need to talk to you." And then 12/13, Kohberger's Elantra was captured on license plate reader in Loma, Colorado, on his trip back to Pennsylvania for winter break. At least I think that's what he was doing. I mean, his dad's with him, and I think they drove back together. Isn't that what they did, you guys? Because what's interesting, on 12/19, he met with his professor. That must have been through Zoom. Because how would he have got back there? Yeah. And then, so that was on 12/13. Kohberger's Elantra was captured on license plate reader in Loma, Colorado, on his trip back to Pennsylvania for winter break. Then on 12/15, Spokane County Medical Examiner Veena Singh determined that the wounds to victims were caused by sharp force injuries. Then at 12/15 at 3:50 p.m., law enforcement queried Kohberger's license in Hancock County, Indiana. Brian's father was in the vehicle. With Bryan at the time. Then on 12/16, surveillance video showed Kohberger's Elantra in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. The sole occupant was Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Kohberger's parents live in Albrightsville. Then on 12/19, that's when Kohberger met with his department head. And Kohberger was terminated from his teacher's assistant program effective December 31st. And I was wondering, how did they meet, though? That must have been Zoom or something, right? Investigators receive historical, and this is on 12/23 is when the investigators received the historical phone records for Kohberger's phone that was utilized throughout this timeline that I have here. Then on 12/27, investigators' surveillance began on 119 Lambsden Drive, that's Kohberger's parents. Investigators observed Bryan Kohberger walking near this residence. Additionally, Kohberger's vehicle is still believed to be on premises. Investigators are also monitoring Kohberger's cellular phone, which appears to be in the same vicinity of this residence. On 12/5, Kohberger's vehicle is observed traveling through Monroe County and arriving back at his residence. I think 12. I gotta go get that date. I think that's wrong there because it's all in order here. Or maybe that was 12. When did he come back? No, that had to have been 12/20 something. Hey, thanks. Home Wreckin' Jen. No doubt about it. Thank you. All right. Then on 12/28, Pennsylvania State Police was requested to assist the Moscow police and the FBI. On 12/30, law enforcement searched Kohberger's residence in Pennsylvania, retrieving Defiant silver flashlight, 4 medical-style gloves, white Arizona Jean Company large T-shirt, Champion WSU Cougars large black sweatshirt, pair of black and white size 13 Nike shoes, pair of black Under Armour socks, Under Armour black large shorts, Under Armour black boxers large, and something about a buckle swab. So there you go, everybody. That's the... It just, to me, when you put it together like that, when you tell the story just like this with the timeline and everything in the correct order, it's just, yeah, Bryan Kohberger, he's the killer. I mean, to me, I am 100% certain that Bryan Kohberger killed all 4 of them. I think he actually went there to kill the 4 roommates, and I think Ethan and Kaylee were just happened to be there at the wrong time, and a lot of noise occurred, and he got the hell out of there. I think he was going to kill the 4 girls. I think Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen are just lucky. So, all right. So, what did you guys think of that? Well, he admits, because he admitted being the one driving the vehicle around. Yeah, he was driving. He's saying it because his white Elantra is seen all over the place. Rubber toe. It's really obvious, buddy. Okay. That's really obvious at this point. All right. Thank you up there to Home Wreck and Jen. Daphne, American Lady, Bridget Bauman. So now we can, if you want, we can go through it a little bit like a second time, but slower. Okay? Because I think it's really useful here. When you marry the ping information with the sightings together in a timeline, it enters your brain differently than when you go, oh yeah, remember what we said earlier? I think people that think Kohberger is innocent are dumb people. I don't mean to offend you if you're one of those people, but if you think Kohberger is likely innocent or didn't do it, that's just the reality. You need to go back to school or go do something. He might be found not guilty at some point, but he did it. This is just like Casey Anthony type stuff, somebody. And the reason he might be found innocent is because there's a lot of dumb people in the world. There's people that don't realize the value of circumstantial evidence. When you put circumstantial evidence together in a string, it's to me at times is stronger than direct evidence. In fact, each piece of circumstantial evidence is direct evidence. But it's circumstantial. Yeah. And thank you up there to Jason Freer and Texas Annie again. All right, so let's go through this again. All right, but this time we'll pull out some, do videos and whatnot. Now, so you must be one of those people. Yeah, so let's do it. So again, on November 13th, I would say between 4:10 and 4:18, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Madison Mogan were all murdered. And then there was also 2 surviving roommates, one living downstairs, that's Bethany Funk, and then Dylan Mortensen living just at the base of the stairs. Both were in their rooms during the murders, right? So then on I'm just going back in time. So on June 23rd, that's when Kohberger got his phone that they were tracking. That's when he bought it. Thanks, Gray. It's clear to me that BK, the trolls just can't bring them. I'm not sure what those people are. There's a whole industry out there. The same, like a lot of the same wackos that cover the Delphi case are also in this case. With the same crazy stuff, but man, it sells. I tell you what, people love it. People can't stand somebody just literally bringing the regular facts and putting it together to show you why, when a judge looks at it or everybody else looks at it, the investigators are like, oh God, this guy did it. You know, if you put it together like that, how dare you? The Oregon Elantra has nothing to do with anything. Right. So on June 23rd, that's when Bryan Kohberger got his phone, okay? Then on 8/16, law enforcement shows up to 112 King Road to give verbal warnings for noise. That's on August 16th. Then just 5 days later, Kohberger is in Moscow, Idaho, chilling out using the same cell resources that 1122 King Road uses. So he's already over there surveilling. And that's between 10:34 and 11:35. And then just 2 minutes later, when Kohberger is making his way back to Pullman, Washington, a Latah County Sheriff's Deputy, Corporal Duke's body camera showed Bryan Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger was the sole occupant and was driving a white 2015 Honda Elantra with Pennsylvania plate LFZ 8649, set to expire on November 30th, 2022. Kohberger provided his phone number, which ended in 8458, and that's the same phone that he just got here on 6/23. Kohberger's phone utilized resources consistent with that traffic stop, and that ended up being so he was down in this area for an hour, almost exactly the same time that he was there for the murder night. He was there, like, was this a dry run here? I mean, so on, the night of the murder, he got there at 3:26, and he leaves at 4:20, right? On this night, he's there for 10:34 to 11:35, an hour. The other one was like 50-something minutes on the night of the murders. So was he doing the same thing? Was he doing the loops that night too? I mean, that'd be interesting if they could go back and find surveillance footage from, a month, 2 months prior, but I doubt it. And then, so after he was in that area right here, his phone then was in this area. This is where he got pulled over, and his phone was using a different tower. So I think it's important when you notice that they mention that a different tower is used, because that generally indicates the phone is moving and another tower picked it up. Not always great. Well, that's why I said generally, okay. And then on September 1st, which is, 9, 10, 11 days later, law enforcement shows up to 112 King Road for a noise complaint. Then the next day, but really the same night, just 2 hours later, law enforcement shows up 2 hours later to 1122 King Road for a noise complaint. Then, about 3 weeks later, Kohberger has an altercation with a faculty member as a teacher's assistant in Pullman, Washington. And then about 10 days later, Kohberger meets with Professor Snyder. So that's the teacher that he actually is a TA for, and they discuss the norms of professional behavior, which is kind of an odd thing to have to talk to a doctoral student about. Then, 10 days after that, Bryan Kohberger was detained in another traffic stop by a WSU officer. Kohberger was the sole occupant driving a 2015, supposed to be white Elantra, plates LFZ8649. And then on October 21st, a week after that, his professor emailed Kohberger about how he has failed to meet the expectations of a teacher's assistant. Then, 10 days after that, the director met with Kohberger to discuss an improvement plan. Or it might have even been Snyder. It's hard to make out. Then on November 3rd, Kohberger agrees to the improvement plan via email. And by the way, if you guys could hit that subscribe button, that'd be great. Hit that like button, you guys. I mean, my God, 398 likes with 1,100 people watching. What a joke. Hit the like button, 10, 20. It's the easiest damn thing in the world to do. You just press the like button. Use your thumb, use your nose, use your tongue, whatever it takes. Just press the damn like button. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 40. Yep, no, it's not good enough, man. If we get to about 700, we'll continue on here. Hit the like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 40, 45. Hey, hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40,
30, 25, 30. You want to put 30, sir, 25, you're out. 25, 30, 30, now 5, 35.
Hit the like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 50. Hit that like button.
30, 25, 30. You want to put 30, sir, 25, you're out. 25, 30, now 5, 30.
Yeah, we're at 476. Don't tell me to hit the like button, Gray, if I don't want to. Okay, well, just hit it anyways, all right? No, it didn't hurt anybody. Just go ahead and press it. I know you don't want to. Go like this. Go like this. Yeah. Very simple to do. Hold on a second. I got to go read something by a wacko. That doesn't work. You're going to have an attorney send it to me. Too late, though. You already got yours. Let's see. A screenshot. What a joke. Let's see. BK was also absent from... Hold on one second. I gotta do something for a second. My stalker is contacting me now. It's crazy. Ding 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 ding. Just a second. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, she's an absolute bunny boiler. She just isn't going to be able to deal with the fact that there's actually a recording out there recording her conspiring with a channel she works on to try to shut this channel down, and I don't even mention her name at all on here. You know what? I'll tell you what's strange is some people think that being a like you're not a private citizen if you have a public page if you're trashing somebody but your name's on there. Man, it's just so crazy. Just absolute wackadoodle stuff. Yeah. Inspection sticker would have blue with 1122 on it. Yeah. So what happened was I had to send the person a cease and desist letter. So I get one that's a screenshot from the same person. Great. Then quit talking about me. Thank you. Get rid of all your troll accounts that you have on various platforms, and we'll have no problem. I've been saying that. It's all up to you, okay? But the channel that you work for is in big trouble, okay? Because I am meeting tomorrow with my YouTube rep, and it's not going to be good, okay? And I have the absolute proof of it. So, anyways. Sorry for wasting your time again, everybody, but that's what the troll does right in the middle of the shows. They send people over. They're the ones that type in all the crazy comments and stuff like that. Yeah, she's an absolute psycho. I mean, like one of the worst type of people. Unfortunately, she has people believing her, and it's just not true. So they're just people that they don't like me for whatever reason, and will just sort of follow that narrative and whatever she says. Oh God, he's so mean. What an embarrassment. Yeah. Ding 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 ding. I don't have time to read it, which will be hilarious. So I can guarantee it. Just a second, though. I gotta. Oh yeah, and by the way, it was sent to me merely to get a reaction, you guys. So there's people monitoring what they're doing, and so what they did was they made an email just so I would react to it. Isn't that crazy? That's how sick these people are. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, they're just disgusting people. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna take it all the way though on this one, and it'll be a huge loss for them. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Anyways, sorry you guys. You know, I'll probably end up making just a video on this, zipping through it, but hopefully this stuff here makes sense to you. I'll get back to it here in a second. What does that mean? What does that mean, farming PayPal checks? What does that mean? God, look how dumb these people are. I can't wait to see that video. Yeah. And I'm talking about the trolls, not you guys watching. Well, I bet there's a huge number of trolls watching though. Yeah. So here's what the truth is, everybody. I had a moderator, and the moderator was, I mean, she was fine, prior, whatever. But then one day she was a moderator on a channel, another true crime channel, at the same time my shows were on, and pumping the channel. And yes, I had other moderators that were moderators on a friend of mine's channel, so it didn't bother me, right? I didn't mind that. But this wasn't one of those. And I said, you can choose to be on my channel or his channel, and she chose to be on that channel. So I removed her as a moderator, and for 2 years, behind the scenes, she goes everywhere possible, trashing me over and over and over again, eventually starting in a huge presence on various online platforms with absolutely, provably false accusations, 100% inaccurate information to try to affect my channel. And then even when Reddit removed, and I'm talking about Reddit, she had a Reddit place there. It's not there anymore. They removed it because it was harassment. Then the next day she created another one. Then it was removed for harassment. Then created another one and it was removed for harassment again. Then that wasn't good enough. So then, it just goes on and on. Facebook, all these different places. This is a bunny boiler, you guys. An absolute, I don't know how to explain it. Okay? And, there's people out there that have information. They've actually got screenshots. They've got all kind. Oh, no, and by the way, like a few weeks ago, she said that I got her phone number, because I text messaged her one time. She said that I got her phone number by getting it off of a Zoom call that she made one time, and it was really creepy. Except when I went back and proved that she She said, Greg, call me, give me a call. And I said, well, we could do a Zoom or we could do a Skype or something. She goes, no, just call me. So I called and we talked, whatever. That was just a normal thing about work or something. I mean, about the show. Then another time she was like, Greg, give me a call. 2 weeks later, hey, give me a call. Give me a call. And I said, well, why? And, and then finally I called and we talked again. But she gave me her number, okay? Then 4 months later, she was upset about something. This is before she was removed. I think it was before she was removed. I don't remember exactly when. But it was in July, and it was April and May when she gave me her phone number. And in July, I sent her a text message that said, hey, sorry, if things bothered you. And then we actually texted a few times after that, just about random shit, But she lied to people. And then once the lie was exposed, because I showed the screenshots, she then hid that post and told everybody I was manipulating the screenshots. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to get it, Brian. I mean, she just kept giving it to me. Like, call me. I didn't. What do you mean I shouldn't be getting numbers? What do you mean, Brian? She gave it to me. She just typed it in there. Man, you almost sound like a troll yourself. Jesus, what a stupid comment. Let's see. My eyes can't get any wider hearing this. Insert shock face. Yeah, so I'm just telling you guys what the reality is. This person is relentless. So then she goes and mods on every channel out there, especially if there's one that, like she's modding on a channel that one time during my live stream just absolutely pilfered what I was doing, made a quick little video while I was doing the show. It was almost creepy because it was using the same exact phrasing, and even when I went bing, 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 like that, the mountains. So it was pretty creepy, and then I sent one email to that person, and they deleted the video, but said they deleted it for a different reason, and now she's a mod for that person, and they're conspiring together behind the scenes. I have the audio and proof of it, okay? I'm not going to give the name out, but she has her name out on social media. I mean, she's an actual... Right, Brian, but you didn't type it in as a joke. It doesn't sound like one, and those people love those kind of comments. Your comment will be the highlight of their next show. Oh, look at this, or whatever, their little merry band of wacko comments. Yeah. Yeah, Bunny Boiler is Fatal Attraction stuff. I think that's kind of what it was. I don't have any idea. So, anyways, that's it, you guys. I don't really know what to say. So I've had to get my lawyer involved, and it's just sort of a hassle. Okay, it's a big time hassle. Because I literally haven't done a damn thing. And I've never said something that wasn't true. Okay, and that's all they do is put out that kind of stuff. So I'm sorry again, everybody. We were just having a nice show again, and here comes the trolls. Yeah. Oh, I mean, absolute crazy person. It's wild. So, I mean, you should hear all the voice recordings that I have from that. It's just really. Okay, now we looked it up. Now here's how we can get him. Here's how we can get him strike. Here's how we can get the strikes on. It's wild. I mean, literally conniving to figure out how to get somebody's YouTube channel shut down. Does that sound like somebody you want to be friends with? I don't think so. All right. Yeah, I will. No, I've got him. I've got a voice recording of her saying that she just was speaking to. She's trying to claim that the moderator is a different person with the same name that's also a YouTuber, and that person, I guess we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I've given $163,000 to true crime-related charities and a DNA fund since January 2020. Although that doesn't happen on nights like this, we gotta get going here, you guys. Come on, this is good information from tonight, don't you think? Yeah, she's saying it's a different moderator. Never mind. I don't even know what you're saying, Cindy. Yeah, no, I've got it all, man. I've got it all. And there's no winning. And I don't use her name. She's the only one that does her own thing. You know, on one of the screenshots, it has a name, but that's her name on YouTube. It doesn't have her real full name, you know. So that's her name on YouTube, which is a public. When you're a moderator for a channel, your YouTube name is a public name. Wouldn't you agree with that? Maybe not your personal name, but the name that's on YouTube is. About the movie Fatal Attraction. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, what they're trying to do is that will not be made up. Okay, the money that we've given is not something. It's just something we do here. Okay, so what are we at? An hour and 21 minutes. I know. Yeah, that's what she uses. Thanks, WNC Granny and American Lady. So here we go. I'm gonna start all over again here for the people that didn't get to see this the first time around. Sorry to waste your time on the drama shit, but you know, sometimes drama just rears its ugly head because that's all this person sells is drama.
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Great information, great. I know it took a lot of hard work. Golden wave, ocean wave, ocean wave, ocean wave.
All right, thanks, guys. God, it just gets so old and frustrating. Yeah. I just want to be able to do true crime and try to do as good as I can and get information out and help as many things, you know, charities and whatnot as I can from the income that I bring in. And I don't know what this person is doing. And I just don't get it. I mean, deal with your own life. Do your own thing, okay? Quit talking about me, and I'll quit talking about you. The only time I've ever brought you up is when you just keep going on and on, bashing me everywhere you go, and I bring you up. If you quit talking about me, I'll quit talking about you. Okay? Does that sound good? Thank you. All right, good. God, unreal. Are you guys ready? I'm going to start over again. Thanks, Pirate Girl. Let's cleanse the spirit. Oh, yeah. Where is that?
Hey, Allah, hey, Allah. Hey, Allah, hey, Allah.
Okay, I feel a lot better now. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'd show you the entire conversation. I don't really care. It's every single message. I mean, she makes up just, I don't know, man. It's scary. It's scary, actually, seeing the real conversation behind the scenes. Wow. Yeah.
Let's cleanse our spirits.
You guys ready? Let's get back to it. The Bryan Kohberger real timeline, where you get to see where the ping information is married up with the actual sightings, and everything is put into the correct order. All right, you want to do it? Yeah. Okay, here we go. So I'm starting over again. We already know everybody that was, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan were all murdered at 1122 King Road on November 13th, 2022. And there was 2 surviving roommates, Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. Thanks, Vibe Chick. Well, thank you. So on June 23rd, Bryan Kohberger gets a telephone. He purchases a phone and starts up, maybe he didn't purchase the phone, but he got an account on 623 with a phone number that they use. Thank you.
Awesome gray, smiling face with hearts.
Well, thank you. I don't know. I mean, I've thought, like, did BK call in the noise complaints? But I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't think so. I think they're just loud as hell, and the neighbors wanted to go to sleep, and they're just making so much noise. That's what I think. Okay, so at 6:23, Kohberger opens up a new phone line. Now on 8/16, August 16th, law enforcement shows up to 112 King Road, 22 King Road, to give a verbal warning for noise. Then 5 days later, Bryan Kohberger is in the area of 1122 King Road based on cellular data. So on 8/21, 5 days after that verbal warning, he's in Moscow, Idaho, near 1122 King Road, and his phone is pinging there. Then just 2 minutes after that time, it was 10:34 to 11:35, on his way back home, Kohberger's phone, not Kohberger, well, his phone obviously is with him, but Kohberger is pulled over by the Latah County Sheriff's Deputy. Corporal Duke's body cam and report showed Bryan Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger was the sole occupant and was driving a white 2015. So here we are again, marrying up Kohberger, the Elantra, and his phone. Exactly what happens at Albertsons on the day of the murder. Kohberger provided his phone number, which ended in 8458. Kohberger's phone utilized resources consistent with this traffic stop on Farm Road. So again, what I was saying earlier is that when he was right here, his phone pinged in this area, somewhere around in here. His phone pinged utilizing the same resources that the residents at 1122 King Road used. Then, when he was pulled over right here, his cell phone was utilizing a different tower at that point. So that means he's likely down in this area, surveilling. So that means, he was there for an hour, probably doing those same loops, maybe trying to figure out what's the best way to go. And all right, so then 10 days later, at 10:50 p.m., law enforcement shows up again to 112 King Road for a noise complaint. And that was at 10:50. Then 2 hours later, it shows up again to also, mention the noise complaint to them. So the first time was the one where you hear Madison Mogan on a cell phone in the background. The second one, Madison Mogan gets on a phone and is talking to one of the officers. And then at 12:40, that's when Xana Kernodle came out. And obviously she'd been drinking, you could tell. And she was just like, I just want to go to bed. I want to go to bed. And then on 9/23, Kohberger has an altercation with a faculty member. So that's 3 weeks later. Then a week after that, 10 days later, Kohberger meets with Professor Snyder to discuss norms of professional behavior. Then, on 10/14, Bryan Kohberger was detained in another traffic stop by a WSU officer. Kohberger was the sole occupant driving a 2015 white Elantra, plates LFZ 8649. Then on 10/21, Professor Snyder emailed Kohberger about how he has failed to meet the expectations of a teacher's assistant. Yeah, so, I'm just putting everything in order how it was going. There was another traffic stop And then 10:21, Professor Snyder emailed Kohberger about how he failed to meet the expectations after he got in the altercation. Then 11:02, the graduate director met with Kohberger to discuss an improvement plan. Then 11:03, Kohberger agrees to the improvement plan via email. Then Kohberger's phone utilizes the same cellular resources as 1122 King Road at least 12 times prior to November 13th, 2022. All of these occasions were in the late evenings, all but one. So that means 11 times. 11 times Kohberger was also in the area, very similarly to up here where he was there from 10:34 to 11:35 in the same area. He was there 11 other times right near the residence, but one time it was during the daytime. But every time his phone utilized the same resources. What the heck is that? What is that?
It's a fly.
But how come it kept going?
Well, it's burning. It's barbecue.
we have one of those little lights where the fruit flies go into it. Man, that thing was crazy. Kohberger's phone utilized the same cellular resources as 1122 King Road, 1122 King Road 12 times prior to November 13th. I mean, doesn't that tell you something? That he was going there back and forth, back and forth. Then, let's see. So this is now we're starting the night of the homicides. So at 9 o'clock to 1:45 p.m., Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were attending a Sigma Chi fraternity party at 735 Nez Drive. Let me fix that. Bethany Funk estimated that Ethan and Xana returned to the King Road residence at 1:45. Ethan did not live there. Then at 10 o'clock, so sort of around the same time, so I didn't know which one to put first, but 10 to 1:30, 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. on the 13th, so it was 10 p.m. on the 12th and to 1:30 a.m. on the 13th. Kaylee and Madison were at the Corner Club. Not long after that, Kaylee and Madison went to the Grub Truck at 318 Main Street in downtown Moscow. And we've all seen the Grub Truck videos, right, where they're sitting there and they're ordering food, and there's a guy that they walked there with named Jack, not the boyfriend, but another guy named Jack, and he was with them at the Corner Club, and there's video of him walking down the street with them there. That's the famous, "What did they say to Adam?" And then they kept walking, or "What did you say to Adam?" And then they kept walking, they went to the Grub Truck, and they got to the Grub Truck at 1:43 a.m. At 1:53 a.m., Kaylee and Madison leave the Grub Truck with the food they purchased and receive a ride home from a private party. And you could tell they were looking at their phones just waiting for the private party to get there. Then at 1:56 a.m., Kaylee and Madison arrive at 1122 King Road. It's only a 3/4 of a mile drive. And then at 2 a.m., according to Bethany Funk, all occupants of the residence are home. Then at 2:26, Kaylee calls her boyfriend, Jack, 6 times. Then Madison called 3 times from 2:44 to 2:52, and then Kaylee called one more time at 2:52 as well. And he didn't answer. Apparently one of his friends said, "You gotta play hard to get," something like that. It's very possible that he wouldn't be alive today had he gone over there. 2:42 a.m., cell data obtained via the CAS system by the FBI showed Kohberger's phone utilizing cellular resources consistent with his home. So, now we're looking at 2:42 in the morning. Bryan Kohberger is all the way, he's at his house. I think it's, right there. 2:42. He's at his house right there. Then at 2:44 a.m., Kohberger's white Elantra is seen on a camera traveling north on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington. So, 2 or 3 minutes later, he is, and by the way, his phone's pinging in this area, so that means he's in the area of his home. He could already be driving, and likely that's what he was doing. So that's where he lives, and it would still be pinging, and then he starts driving down, and then right here at 2:44 he drives this direction. And I think he pulled over right here. And then at 2:47, Kohberger's phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to southeast of his residence, showing he has left his residence. So his phone at 2:47 pinged down here now. So when it was up here, 2:42, I mean, that could just be 5 minutes later he got there, but I think he was already driving and it was still using the same tower. So he's down here, and then at 2:44 he goes up into this area, and I think he parks right around in here. And then at 2:47, Kohberger's phone utilizes cellular resources in the same area here, so that marries up the ping information with the visual sightings of the Elantra. Then at 2:47 a.m., Kohberger's phone stops reporting to the network, which means his phone was turned off or put in airplane mode. See, right here it stopped reporting the network. I think he drove here at 2:44, parked, then he turned off his cell phone. It was part of his, like he was going through a checklist. Like, okay, let me get ready here so I'm ready to go when I get there. So he turns off his phone. He does, whatever else he's doing, getting ready. And he turns it off at 2:47 while in a parking lot here. And then right then at 2:53, after he's gone through his checklist or whatever, 2:53 he heads this direction. So Kohberger's white Elantra is seen on camera traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington towards SR 270, which connects to Moscow, Idaho. And then at 3:26 a.m., so let's see. Right, so on the 2:53 one, he drives like this, and then he gets out here on the 270, which goes to Moscow, Idaho. So I don't know if he took, when he got over here, did he cut down on some of these other roads and cut across? I mean, we don't really know how he, exactly where he went once he went into Moscow, because he does end up over here at a certain time. So then, let's see, at 3:26 a.m., so he leaves Pullman at 2:53, and then at 3:26, they finally see his vehicle on a camera right here in the 700 drive of Indian Hill Drive, and I think this is the house because there's literally a camera right on the side of the house here. If you go to Street View and you zoom in, there's a camera right there. So I'm pretty sure that that's the camera that picked it up. And 3:28, just 2 minutes later, from there, absolutely makes sense. Drove by right here at the A&W restaurant, his phone ping, and then at 3:29, a minute later, he enters this area up here. Man, you guys are just typing up a storm there. Is anybody here? Did it get frozen? I mean, there's 1,000 people watching and the chat isn't even moving. Yeah, we haven't hit the goal yet, yeah. And it's kind of shocking. I mean, not sure what's going on, but it just is what it is, everybody. With 1,000 people watching, it's a struggle. So on this channel, every single night, the freaks help support the channel, and that allows me to keep doing these shows every single day. And then at the end of the month, I donate over 50% of the net revenue after I pay taxes to various true crime related charities. Last month, I donated from the income from the channel, because of the generosity of the freaks, $6,000. Okay, so the only way to make that happen is if every single night on here we reach the goals. Tonight, I mean, the goal is really just kind of this really low number. We usually beat it. This night, it's sort of just lingering there for some unknown reason. Hopefully, you guys feel like the information that I put out is worth tipping the channel or something like that. There is no ad revenue for these live streams. Okay? So if you feel like you want to help support the channel, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Okay, and then at so 3:29 he enters the area. Kohberger's wide elantra makes 3 initial passes. Then at oh, thank you, RC Main. Thanks for the good info. Yeah, well, I'm trying to put out some, legitimate timeline in order information, including the ping and visual sightings on camera.
Thanks for the good info.
Yeah. All right. So at 3:31, just after it gets into the area, I mean, that's what's so amazing about it. Everything's so perfectly timed. 3:29 right here. And then when the elantra comes in, it comes back here, and at 3:31 makes the first pass right back here, and it comes around. And what that looks like is like this. In between time, showing only when either light from the vehicle or the vehicle
this is from the videos that I did the other day.
This first sequence starts off playing the full loop.
Thanks, G.
And then is played at twice the speed and then 4. Right, so anyways, it comes around here. This is at 3:30 and 57 seconds. So I have it at 3:31, right? There it comes, making the turn around. You see the top of it right over there. Right, and that was at 3:31. That's right here, coming around. And I think it probably parks here for 3 or 4 minutes each time. And then it takes off, goes up Willanta Drive. I think it comes around like this, and then loops back around. 8 minutes. Now, after the second loop, there is an extra 8 minutes. So that might be, if it's true that that's his vehicle at the Exxon, that he did a longer route, that one, just to throw off surveillance, whatever that. Thanks, Lisa Valenzuela. Oh, and Lisa Murphy and Susie Sandpiper. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you, Gray. Really appreciate you going through this so carefully, Gray. You must be dreaming these facts, but yeah. Well, when I was putting this all together, you're just thinking, my God, look at this. It's so clear. I mean, Kohberger says, oh yeah, I'm just driving around. That's why you keep seeing my car everywhere. Why else would he say that?
Thank you, great. Really appreciate you going through this so carefully, great.
Yeah.
You must be dreaming these facts by now.
A little bit. Then at 3:39 on pass number 2, the white elantra does the same thing. It comes back in, and just imagine how, look at this. On that video, the white elantra is going like this. This camera right here, this is at 156. The actual camera filming the white elantra is so clear, it would be like this. It would come in, drive like this right by, on each loop, okay? And that's right here, you guys. Right there, that's the camera. It drove like this. Then it goes back behind this building, and it drives right through like this, and then it stops for another 3 minutes. Then it goes this way again, and it leaves the area. And so we're on, that was at 3:39. Then after 3:39 though, it either sat here for a way longer, like 10 minutes this time, but the lights just stayed on in the house. He's like, God, hurry up with the... So, or he took off and this was his car that was seen by this gas station and he just did this longer. He just wanted to get away, give him more time. He needed to kill 20 minutes. He figured if I wait 20 minutes, I come back, I think the lights will be off. So then he gets back in the area at 3:57 a.m. The white Elantra travels down Queen Road again, and it starts looking like it's going to do the same thing. But it goes back behind the Queen Road, 500 Queen Road again. But this time, when it goes back there, I'll show you right here on the video. Let me get to the time. Actually, that's 3:57. So on the 3:57 one, it does the same exact loop that it always does. Okay. So on the 3:57 one, it just took, double the time to get there, but he does a full loop around, and then likely waits here again for just 3 or 4 minutes. Then does that same loop, and then comes back into the area at 4:04 up here, and then. But let me get back to the timeline because I'm leaving out something. So at 3:57 it does loop number 3. Okay. Then at 4 o'clock, that's apparently when the DoorDash driver got there. So right as he's doing this loop, he does a 3:57 loop, and he either, because if he waits again, that's what's so interesting about it. If he waits again in this area to look, that means when he was leaving, he likely saw the DoorDash driver. He was like, holy shit. So he's leaving again, just going, come on. And he takes off, and he does the loop, and then he comes back into the area at 4:04. But Dylan Mortensen said at 4 o'clock, she awoke to the sound of what she thought was Kaylee playing with her dog. I actually want to move this. I don't think that is the timing of that. I think this should be right here. I'm just going to put it here. And then let me move these back up into here. Yeah. So I'm just going to move that there. So then Kohberger's white Elantra makes a fourth and final pass here. At 4:06 a.m., the white Elantra travels down Queen Road and goes behind Queen Road number 52, which is the same spot that I've been showing you guys. Right back here, but this time when it goes back here, it turns around for some reason. And then it goes back this direction, and then right here at Queen and King Road, and imagine how clear it is on this camera right here, where the car drives like this, does a 3-point turn, and comes right back towards the camera. And we'll show, let me show you that on video here if I can. So it's this one. So this is when it goes behind the apartment building and turns around and goes back out the way it came. It's the only time it did that out of all the different loops that it did. So here it is at 4:05 and 40 seconds. There's the white Elantra, stopped, pulls forward a little bit again for some reason. Just a slight a bit there. I don't know if he just took his foot off the gas or something. Then he backs up. And then he goes back out the same way he came. All right. So I want you guys to be able to visualize all this stuff. So then once it's doing that, it's going to, let me show you from up here. It's going to drive like this, okay? And then here's the surveillance camera that I just showed you is on that building. So the car is going to drive like this to King and Queen Road, and then you'll see it come by right here on the camera, and then right here do a 3-point turn and go back this direction. Okay, does that make sense? Hey, thanks, Wool Lab. So that was 4:06 and 10 seconds. So it's taking off. Now watch, in a second here, we'll have it coming back to finish its normal pass or loop that I like to call it. So here it comes. Don't know why the horn honked or anything like that. It's going around. Maybe there's a raccoon in the road or something. So anyways, it went around, and that's at 4:08. It goes 4:07 and 30 seconds. It goes like this. And then he parks his car, and we know that because at 4:20 on this camera, the Elantra's leaving at a high rate of speed. That makes sense? So that means the white Elantra did not leave until 4:20, yet we see it at 4:08 and 4:08. 4:07 and 30 seconds, 4:08 it probably parked. So that means for 12 minutes, Bryan Kohberger's white Elantra was right back here during the exact same time that Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were all murdered. In that 12-minute period, they were all murdered in the same house right next to where he parked. And he says he was driving around in the area. What an unlucky sucker he is, right? I mean, just think about that for a second. He's just driving around. He likes doing these Mario Andretti type loops around the King and Queen Road neighborhood just over and over and over again. It's really fun. And then he just parks his car and he's like, oh, yeah, here's a good place to look. I can look in those windows. Oh, my God, somebody's murdering them. Oh, shit. And then he takes off. Because it wasn't him, of course. Oh, but the DNA that they found inside was because the killer, while he was parking in a gaze, looking at them, he didn't realize that somebody nudged his car and got a little bit of DNA on the sheet that he was wearing. And then they went into the house, and then they left it there, and it looked like he did it. Oh my God, everybody! Hey, yay! Yeah. Man, aren't you glad you're here? Even if you don't like me, don't you like the fact that this is like the reality of this case? It's a slam dunk, and they have so much more than this. I think he killed them in 6 minutes. And people go, how can you do 6 minutes? Try this. Stare at a clock for 6 minutes. And it's not even a big house, you guys. Especially where he was. He didn't go downstairs, so all he had to negotiate was the second floor and going up those little steps upstairs. I mean, it's really condensed area there. We've shown it a million times on... I have a 3D building built. Thank you, Pamela Dasgupta. Am I saying it right? Probably not. I just want you to pronounce my last name. I bet it's something totally different, like Dasgupta, right? Yeah, well, it might not even be 3 minutes in each room. So let's go through this more. So okay, so 408, and then this is where I think Dylan Mortensen says she awoke to the sound of what she thought was Kaylee playing with her dog. She says it was around 4. I think it was 409, 410. I think that's Kohberger upstairs. The killing's happening. It just sort of sounds like, like maybe she's going, hey, there's noise up there. So it sounds like she's playing with her dog, but that's actually him killing Madison and Kaylee upstairs. That's the only thing that really kind of makes sense there. Then because right above Dylan's room is Madison's room. Then at 4:12 a.m., Xana is using TikTok. So right at that time, when Xana's using TikTok, Kohberger is upstairs killing Madison and Kaylee. And so Dylan hears who she thinks is Kaylee, but it's more likely, law enforcement believes, that it was Xana because, let's see, since she was still awake, having just received the DoorDash, Dylan looked, and she was also on TikTok at 4:12. Dylan looks out her door but sees nobody. So Dylan actually, when she heard Kaylee say, or she thought it was Kaylee, but it was actually Xana, said, "There's someone here." That's because she could hear what was going on up there. There's somebody here, you know. But this could have been Xana, since she was still awake, having just received the DoorDash. I think it was her. Dylan looks out her door again, but sees nobody. Dylan hears someone say, "It's okay. I'm here to help." That is likely Kohberger. I think that was probably around like 4:16, maybe even 4:17. Because at 4:17, King Road's security camera, this same camera that you see right here, that very same camera, picks up a whimper followed by a loud thud. And then approximately 4:17, Dylan opens her door for the third time after she heard the crying or whimpering. She saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. Dylan described the person as 5'10" or taller, and a male, not very muscular, but athletically built, with bushy eyebrows. And 5'10" or taller is absolutely consistent with somebody being 6 foot. But he was athletically built with bushy eyebrows. And by the way, for somebody that was on this channel prior to Kohberger even being arrested, or I think it was once the arrest was made, I said it, but I mentioned that he had bushy eyebrows because somebody had told me about it way before. And I even did a poll. I said, "Do you think this guy," what did I say? So something, some kind of a question about bushy eyebrow. Thank you, T-Cell Logic. Yeah, so 4:12, Xana is using TikTok, and Dylan hears who he thinks is Kaylee say, right. So she's awake. She just got a DoorDash. She's on TikTok. Xana hears somebody, "Hey, I think somebody's here." And it's likely it's Kohberger. And Kohberger's the one that said, "It's okay, I'm here to help." Now, here's what I think the scenario is with that one right there. Because can anybody really come up with a good, rational reason? People think they say something, but is it really rational? Just listen. Somebody says, "It's okay, I'm here to help." Not one of the victims would say something like that to any of the others. Okay, because they would have been in the battle together and killed at the same time together. So I think this is he went upstairs first I wasn't sure, but I think this scenario works. He went upstairs to kill Madison and Kaylee first, and when he came down, there was some sort of a confrontation, and then he ended up killing, thinking he killed Xana and Ethan. He killed Ethan, but he thought he killed Xana. And then he realized, holy crap, I'm missing my sheath, and he went upstairs to find it, but he couldn't find it because the sheath was underneath the quilt. And he couldn't find it, and then he goes back downstairs, and when he goes back downstairs, he hears the whimpering sound coming from Xana and says to her, "It's okay, I'm here to help." And then I think he went over to try to keep her calm, and he went over and then he killed her. Made sure she wasn't alive. How does that sound? Doesn't that sound pretty reasonable there? Like, it's not too crazy? I mean, it's a shitty story, but I mean, I think that sounds pretty reasonable. I think she said it sarcastically. Huh? I just think he was... No, I don't think he was saying it sarcastically at all. I think he was trying to make sure she didn't scream or something. He was just like, hey, it's okay, I'm here to help. I mean, how, you know, that's how you could get her like, oh, yeah, yeah, and then she's not going to scream again. Okay. And then at 417, 112 King Road, security camera picked up what sounded like voices of whimper followed by a loud thud. And I think that's when I think that is exactly when this was heard. Because there's no time. I think you could almost put that here. Because right when she heard, it's okay, I'm here to help, that's about the time when she opened her door again. See, there it is right there. At 4:17, Dylan opens her door for the third time after she heard the crying and whimpering. She saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask covered, you know, so there he goes. Because he didn't see them, Otto. Jesus. And he wanted to get the hell out of there. The dog was barking, a lot of noise was being made. Okay, then at 4:20 a.m., Kohberger's white Elantra departs the King Road residence area at a high rate of speed. So again, well, actually, let me go back to that. I think I left a part of this out. Yeah, so at approximately 4:17, Dylan opens her door for the third time after she heard the crying, whimpering. She saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. Dylan described the person as 5'10" or taller. Not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The person walked out the back sliding glass door. So just think of it like this. At 4:08, the white Elantra, Bryan Kohberger's vehicle, is in this area until 4:20 when it's zipping away. At 4:17, the person goes out the back door heading right towards where the Elantra would be, right? Because it's Bryan Kohberger, everybody. I mean, it's just so simple. It's crazy. Then once he gets into the vehicle, it speeds away at a high rate of speed at 4:20, trying to exit the area. And he goes back out like this, and, you know, have all that in there too. So 4:20, Kohberger's white Elantra departs the King Road area at a high rate of speed. Kohberger's white Elantra heads south on Elantra Drive. At 4:25 a.m., Kohberger exits the area at Conestoga Drive. And keep in mind, his phone is off this whole time. Thanks, RC Main. The door was blocked in the last-ditch effort by Ethan and my... well, I mean, it's hard to know. Trying to get into the room. I don't know. Yeah. Morning. No, we don't know if they couldn't get in or not. All we hear is a bunch of like just random stuff. Law enforcement hasn't said they had trouble getting into the room. But maybe he was standing there and he was going to block him from coming in again, make it so he couldn't push it. I don't know. I think it's more likely. Yeah, the thud is sort of weird because if he comes in there to help somebody, you know, claims he's helping him, but it kills him, that means they would have been up on the bed or standing when they thud after he. So you might be right. I don't know.
The door was blocked in a last-ditch
I don't
effort
know.
by Ethan.
Everyone has these like
Then a couple
visualizations
trying to get in the room. They couldn't get
that are
in the
so
room
specific, you know.
Why is there no mention of ethnicity?
Because he. What do you mean, no mention of ethnicity? It was dark and he had bushy eyebrows and he covered his nose and his mouth.
Down not to trip on the step between living room and kitchen, so he didn't see Dylan, but she saw him.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things like he had eye issues and, you know, so when he walked by the good vibes sign, it made it too bright. I just think he had adrenaline. He wanted to get the hell out of there. There was too much noise. Huh? I'm not sure what you're saying. Look, Ella. Oh, I mean, just a little bit over? Like that? I mean, Jesus. Man, people are just... yeah. I think what we've been talking about the last few days is sort of the key thing in the entire case, is that at 4:08 the car comes back here, and at 4:20 it leaves. Exactly between 4:08 and 4:20, all four of them were murdered. And the person even goes out the back door, which leads right back up the hill to where his vehicle would have been. And then it leaves at 4:20. Then at 4:25, it exits right here off of Conestoga and Palusa River Drive. And then after that, it heads south. And guess what? He turns his phone on again. His phone was off that whole time. Then he turns it on again, and it pings at 4:48 down here, because now he's in the... It's really dark out. I'll show you what it looks like here. Imagine in the middle of the night, this is pitch black. So he's going to have put brights on, whatever, but probably needs to get some GPS coordinates, figure out where he's going. And then he drives down here, and he does some kind of... He said in Genesee, but I think it's right before Genesee, because the way they have it drawn up, he does this weird maneuver going across like this through Colton, or Uniontown, they said near there, and then up. So let's see. At 4:48, Kohberger's phone utilizes resources that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95 near Blaine, Idaho. So 23 minutes after exiting south of Moscow, his phone is pinging way down there. But again, he's just out for a leisurely drive, everybody. Kohberger is just out there driving around. He's minding his own business. Who are we to judge? And then at 4:50 to 5:26, his vehicle continued to ping from this area, 4:48, all the way around. All the towers kept tracking him. He comes all the way around like this, right? And then at 5:25, we visually see him again right here at 1300 Johnson Avenue. And let's see, I think that's going to be in here. 5:25, Kohberger's white Elantra observed on multiple cameras returning to Pullman, Washington, starting at 1300 Johnson Road, north of Bishop Boulevard. These are different spots. So Johnson Road, north on Bishop Boulevard, and then northwest on SR 270. Guess what? That one camera could see all of that. So I actually think this is exactly what happened here. The camera on one of these buildings right here was able to watch Kohberger's vehicle driving, and then I'll just see what it says right here. So Johnson Road is right here, and then Bishop Boulevard, I think is... Yeah, it's this one. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this is perfect. So it goes right here, Johnson Road, and that one camera, just looking like that, you could see it in the distance. Do all of these things. Turn right on Bishop, and then you could still watch it when it got up here, and how it comes up here and then turns again, even from way back there, you could make it out. Because it's the middle of the night, there's no other cars, and you could see which way the car was going, even on a camera that's back here. I think, anyways. Let me go here. That's just my opinion, but if I go down there, is there a way to... Like, if I was right over here on one of these buildings. Yeah, I think if you were on a camera on... Like, let's say there was a camera right up at the top of that building. You could easily see it come right there. Look at it. You can even see it up there. See that? Takes her right here and then goes up there and makes it on to northwest on SR 270. Man, that actually totally makes sense. And then at 5:30 a.m., there's cell tower information going on. So at 5:30, Kohberger's phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Pullman, Washington. This cellular data is consistent with the video evidence of Kohberger's car returning back to Kohberger's residence. So not only do they have him on camera here, they got him here at 527 here, moving all the way up into this area. Again, around the 527, here's where he lives. And his phone's pinging at 5:30, meaning he's back in the area. He's traveling around. Then, at 9 o'clock in the morning, Kohberger travels to Moscow, Idaho, and spends 9 minutes in the general area. But he could just have done a drive-by and the same tower pinged him for the 9 minutes. But he comes into the area and he's in the general area of 112 King Road using the same resources that this house uses at 9 in the morning because he probably wanted to check out his handiwork. He wanted to see what kind of commotion there was. He was probably excited to see if there was going to be, police vehicles and ambulances and stuff like that. But my God, there wasn't a soul there. Some people think maybe he went back to look for his sheath, but I think that'd be way too risky to try something like that. And then after that, he comes back home at 9:32. His phone is pinging in the Pullman, Washington area. So he went back home after that. Then 3 hours later, Kohberger, let's see, at 12:36, he had driven all the way from, it's not really that far, but from Pullman, Washington, all the way down to Clarkston, Washington here. And then at 12:36 at Cup of Joe coffee shop right here, his phone utilized the resources that Cup of Joe uses. And then this U.S. food cheese store, or chef store, not cheese, chef store right here at 12:36 at the same time had a camera filming the white Elantra that had Bryan Kohberger's phone in it. Well, surely somebody stole it then. At that point, it was just his car, and then the phone's in there. Somebody stole it. That's right. That's our route. There's no way to that. They wouldn't know. Oh, except for 10 minutes later, the same vehicle with Kohberger's phone into it stops here at Albertsons. And then Kohberger gets out of the car and he's seen on camera, for God's sakes. Then he goes into the Albertsons. And at 12:49, he is in the Albertsons, walking around, buying stuff. And then at 1:04, he exits the store, gets into his car, and drives away. But we don't know where he went because I think he turned his phone off again. And then at around, I think it's, 5:32 to 5:36, his phone pings right near Johnson, Washington here. So whether he was over here or anything, but this is probably the cell tower that was used. If you zoom in here, you can literally see the cell tower here. And it's interesting because you can see the shapes on the tower here. So that means it's one of the 120 pie shape towers there. And so it pinged near Johnson, Washington there. And so I don't know, it's weird. It's such a weird ping. Like he turns it on almost to figure out where he is. Like, where did I put that shit? See, I think I did some math here calculating the time. There's 15 minutes of missing time from when Kohberger is right here to when his phone pinged down in this area. So I think that's possible that somewhere up here he got rid of some of his items, and then maybe later in the day went back to retrieve some of those items and, better dispose of them. Something like that. Let's see. So then at 4 p.m., okay, and then basically that's all there is on this one. So it was at from 5:32 to 5:36, his phone pinged in that area, and then after 5:36 to 8:30, 3 hours, his phone was turned off again, and then it stopped reporting to the network. So then at 4 p.m. later in the day, that's when the person who wrote this report showed up at the scene, secured the area, got the K-bar knife sheath, and those kind of things. Then on November 14th, the day after, Kohberger's phone connected to cell towers that provided service to Moscow, but his phone wasn't in Moscow. So maybe he didn't make it into the town, but he was just outside of it. Who knows? Then on the 18th, Bryan Kohberger registered his vehicle and later received Washington plate CFB 8708. Prior to this, it was registered in Pennsylvania, which don't require front license plates. Then 3 days later was Bryan Kohberger's birthday. Who gives a crap, right? But that's when his birthday is. Then 4 days later, Moscow Police Department put out a bolo, be on the lookout for a white Hyundai Elantra. Then on the 29th, 4 days later, WSU police officer Danielle Tiengo queried white Elantras registered at WSU. He located a white Elantra with Pennsylvania plate LFZ 8649. The vehicle was registered to Bryan Kohberger. Kohberger lived at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 201. This is 3/4 of a mile from the intersection of Stadium Way and Cougar Way. Then at 11:29 the same night, just 30 minutes later, another officer also queried his phone. Let's see. Well, he was out looking for a white Elantra and located a 2015 Hyundai Elantra at 1630 Northeast Valley Road in Pullman in the parking lot, and that's where he lives. The plates were ran, and it returned to Bryan Kohberger with a Washington tag. So that's sort of interesting. It's like, what did he change the tag in the middle of the night? Because the first one up here said he located a white Elantra with Pennsylvania plate. I guess the tag, I don't know, it's weird, right? Not sure how that makes sense or not. The photo also indicated Kohberger had bushy eyebrows when he looked at the license photo. This matches statements made by Dylan Mortensen. Then on 12/7, Kohberger met with Snyder, the professor that he was a TA for, and Dr. Willis to discuss the progress, and they noted that, hey, there was some progress. But unfortunately, Kohberger, on the 9th, had another altercation with Professor Snyder. Then on the 11th, Kohberger was emailed about a meeting request by the department head. Then on the 13th, Kohberger's Elantra was captured on license plate reader in Loma, Colorado, not too far away from one of Ted Bundy's murder locations, on his trip back to Pennsylvania for winter break. Then on the 15th, Spokane County Medical Examiner Veena Singh determined that the wounds to victims were caused by sharp force injuries. Then on the 15th as well, at 3:50 p.m., law enforcement queried Kohberger's license in Hancock County, Indiana. Bryan's father was in the vehicle with Bryan at the time. Then on the 16th of December, surveillance video showed Kohberger's Elantra in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. The sole occupant was Bryan Kohberger at the time that they saw him. I mean, the thing is, his dad was in there, obviously, not too long before that. And then on the 19th, Kohberger met with department head, and Kohberger was terminated from his teacher's assistant program effective December 31st. He must have done it on Zoom because he was in Pennsylvania. Then on 12/23, investigators received historical phone records for Kohberger's phone. That's when they got all the information that I intertwined in this timeline. Then on 12/27, investigators' surveillance began on 119 Lambsden Drive, which is Kohberger's parents' house. Investigators observed Bryan Kohberger walking near this residence. Additionally, Kohberger's vehicle is still believed to be on the premise. Investigators are also monitoring Kohberger's cellular phone, which appears to be in the same vicinity of this residence. Yeah, so then Pennsylvania State Police was requested to assist the Moscow police and the FBI. Defiant silver flat. So what they found on the 30th when they went in there, they Got Defiant silver flashlight, 4 medical style gloves, white Arizona Jean Company large t-shirt, Champion WSU Cougars large black sweatshirt, pair of black and white size 13 Nike shoes, pair of black Under Armour socks, Under Armour black large shorts, Under Armour black boxers, large, and 1 buckle swab. Probably they swabbed something and stored it. Kohberger didn't own a buckle swab. Okay. I've seen this before. So there you go, everybody. What do you guys think of that? I mean, doesn't that just put it all together where it's just boom? That's what I think, anyways. Well, thank you. So I can show you some of these things. And which one is this? I'll just show parts of it. This is from Law and Crime. This is when he was pulled over on October 14th. This is the one that was during the daytime. He somehow got out of giving a ticket. Oh wait, hold on. Let me move my face. You can't see it. There's Law and Crime right there. Yeah, so anyways, you know, he gets out of the ticket. And she comes back and reads him some, you know, sort of interesting to look at it like, I mean, there it is, the Elantra right there in the back. Here, let me see what this looks like. Yeah. Alright, so there's that, and then this is that traffic stop on the way back home with his dad. Oh, that's the video where it's just outside, but look, I mean, there's the same Elantra. Oh, and this is the time when they're really noisy. Oh, let's see, let me see. So they go up to the house, and this is where Kaylee comes out.
Contact landlord.
Isn't that crazy? So the killer just came right down through, right here, and went right through that sliding glass door, which is Bryan Kohberger. So that was one of the...
Okay. Let me grab your name. My name is...
You guys are probably making noise too, right? Yeah. And this one is the 9-2. This is the one that was 12:36 in the morning. And this is Xana Kernodle.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
Right. They were just there just before that.
Okay. So, just so you understand, you could be getting a misdemeanor citation for this, which means you have to go.
Yeah, and this is when Kaylee and Madison left the corner club together. And that's the Jack guy that shows up with them at the grub truck. And this was earlier in the evening at the house around 10 something. Yeah.
I think it's like 4
What sorority are they affiliated with?
Actually, it's more like 8 something, isn't it? Well, no, what time is it? 20. Yeah, so 20 would be 8, almost 9 o'clock. So I guess it was... Well, I guess I had it to the end, so that would be 9:06. Yeah, so this is when they got there, and then you hear Madison on the phone on that one. Oh, that's the same thing, okay. And that's when they were at the grub truck right there. See that?
says this new video.
We went all over all that months and months, at the very beginning, so you can go back and find all those videos. But nobody's signaling to anybody. Electric. Sorry. There's nobody signaling to anybody. Yeah. I mean, everybody saw all kinds of things. The guy did look a little suspicious, but he was just there watching his friends make sure they make it home, Well, does anybody have any questions or anything? I mean, it's pretty clear, don't you think? I mean, I don't like using the word clear, but I mean, to me, this is just, like I said, I would vote guilty without the sheath on the bed. Like, you notice I didn't even focus in on, oh, and by the way, the sheath on the bed had Bryan Kohberger's DNA on it. I'm saying, even if they threw out the DNA on the sheath, this guy did it, man. And the circumstantial evidence is too great for somebody to go, it's reasonable not to see it. And guess what? They have way more, man. They've got, I bet you, I have like a tenth of what they've got here. I mean, on this one, I bet you they've got 10 times more information. All the stuff that they've gathered, all the forensic analysis that they've done. Yeah. Man, am I going to have to throw myself in prison or what? Somebody say something so I can throw myself in prison. Go ahead, say something, and then I'll respond, and I'll try to be mean. And boo, you're so. Oh, come on, Papa Q, man, that was a really. I can't do it. That was a really bogus move, man. I can't believe it, Papa Q. Man. Oh, look at that. Gummo threw me in jail. Yay. Okay, Gummo. There we go. Now it's, will I get out? It is a 2015 Elantra, the Bear. Your eyesight sucks. Okay, now I really should be put in prison. Okay, you see that? You notice how you always get these people that think they're just so sleuthy, like, well, unless it has different headlights, then it's a... Oh, yeah, that doesn't have a sunroof on it. Well, that's a different video. It's a whole different time of the night, too. Well, I'm still sitting here, you guys. I'm still sitting in prison. Anyways, this is just, we do this to help raise the funds on the channel because it does support what I do. But probably the most important thing is what we do at the end of the month, where we've given way over $60,000 to a DNA fund, which identifies Jane and John Does, and we use Identifiers International. They are the ones who actually go out and do it. And then we have also given Texas EquiSearch, Rain, and NCMEC over $60,000 total to all of them. And then all the rest has gone to other people. I think we've given Texas EquiSearch like $24,000 or something. Hey, a bit of bail, a bit of bail. Gotcha tea, a bit of bail. Hey, Dina, cool, and Betty Smith and Christy Kazi. Boy, you guys are barely got the honey buns to the guard at this point. I'm still languishing. Cape Breton drone pilot. You ever do any search and rescue stuff? I'm actually trying to get my certification. Every time I start studying it, I get busy on something. The Part 107. Hey, Carrie H. and Kathy 0205. Yeah, it's cool to see all the new people in here. Make sure to hit that like button, you guys. And subscribe. That's the easiest thing. You just press the button. For soap on a rope. For when in jail. Well, thank you, Arky Main. I think when you put it all together that way, the probable cause made it sort of confusing in a way. Not confusing, but just sort of like a little hard to put together the cellular data with the sightings on the camera. Once you do that and you put it all together and everything else in order too, you can definitely see. Hey, thank you to Great Carn for you, Delta Delta Delta, for your bail or a zebra cake. A zebra cake, huh? What are those? Man, I need some cake. I mean, is there anything better than just a really good piece of chocolate cake, you guys? Seriously. You know, where it's almost like a fudge on the top. Yeah, thanks, Goofy Girl. So here's what I'm probably going to do. I'm probably going to make a standalone video of the same thing without trolls interrupting. And I'll put it out there, and you guys can, you know, you'll have it as sort of a reference. Maybe I'll do something better with the text or something. I don't know. It's hard to... I think just the way I explain it's the best way to do it. You know, you just kind of go through it, show Google Earth. You don't really need to show the videos or anything. I think Google Earth has enough on it. But I think the one shot from 1122 King Road is definitely worth it. Hey, Hot Cheetos. Thank you, Turtle Run R and Carrie H. Yeah. I've not done nothing about it. Ben and Jerry. Oh, I'll tell you what's really good was the Cheese Factory ice cream. Oh my God, it's like cheesecake. It's ridiculous. Welcome, Kathy0205. Here, I'm gonna. We got a lot of people here, so I think I'm gonna give away some memberships. Hopefully, we'll get it to people who deserve it. Because here, you want to hear something crazy, you guys? Remember earlier I was talking about the online stalker? This is how depraved these people are. They literally make themselves available for memberships on my channel so they can take them from people that I wish had them. How sick is that, huh? All right, here we go. Thanks, Jeff H. and Mary Buckles. Yeah, we have to remove them all the time because they got them. Love your work, Gray, and your thinker. Spot on, man. Hey, appreciate it. Thanks, Mary Buckles. And so let's see who got them here. We got Carrie H. was gifted a membership by Grant Hughes. Cat Nap was gifted a membership. Nicole. Oddball. Becky 53. Hey, where's Eugenie tonight? I always like to see Eugenie in here. There you go. Becky 53, thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. You know, if you guys like it, maybe you could stay on as a member, you know. Thank you, Brutally Honest. Oh, I can get out of jail now, by the way. Although I might throw some of you guys in there pretty soon. You never know. Come on, Zozo. Throw out one of your quips. I could I could throw you in there. Yeah. Yeah, no problem, Nicole. Well, no, I have a $1.99 one. I think when you buy them from people, you get the $4.99 one. I think.
I'll be back if you want me to.
Love your work, Ray, and your thinker. You're spot on, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry for bringing in the drama earlier. It's just one of those things like, oh, God. It's hard to, just being a regular human being, it's hard to not, yeah. When you got these online stalkers, it's tough, you know. Varying pride. That's pretty funny. Actually, I know you said price, but well, thanks. I actually have my channel listed as educational because I feel like if you do factual, you know what I realize? Like my channel's called Grady's Investigates. There are cases where I literally make the phone calls to various people and figure out stuff. You know, literally get the information and figure it all out. But I think what I really do the best is I'm a collator of information and I put it together. Like I would be if I was working for like the as a detective or the FBI or whatever, I would be the person that would want you to keep bringing me all the stuff to put the story together. You know, that's what I would want to do. I didn't necessarily be the guy out there. I want the person to bring it in, and then I put the story together with the information that you're giving me. I think that's sort of what I'm best at, is making videos that show people the reality in a really simple way to just go, oh, shit. Like the one I just made the other night with the... I mean, look at this right here. Let me just show you that one part where if I think it's... Yeah, right here. Watch this. So these are the 4 loops that the car made, and these are just the times where it passed through. There's 5 times it went back here. But watch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oop. I mean, wasn't that just really simple to see that? And look at the time. Now watch it again with the time. Make sure to look over it, glance over at the time each time. Watch this. 339. 357. 407. Hopefully. And isn't it amazing that it sounds exactly the same each time too? Even though I've sped it up so it has this, but each one sounds exactly the same. One thing that was interesting is that the first loop took 35 seconds. Let me zoom out here. The first loop took 35 seconds. The second one was 37 seconds. The third one was 39. And that what I'm counting is right when you see the first light over up here on a building. That's when I start counting. It was 39. But crazily, the last one was actually 27 seconds. So he was just hauling ass right there. There it is. Right here, that one. He went 12 seconds quicker than the slowest one before. So now he was on. He knew what he was doing now. Okay, the lights are off. Boom. You know, so he came around, parked that car. He got in there. Lo and behold, though, Xana and Ethan were still awake. Yeah, imagine how clear this is. I mean, I would absolutely, once this video is released somehow, I'll be able to marry this up with the video from 1320, what the hell's the name of that? 1320 Linda Lane. It'll absolutely be amazing. What you're going to see on the video is this. Watch this. I'm going to show you right now, so when you watch it, you'll go, shit, Gray said exactly that. This camera right here is going to show this. Watch this. It's going to show it around 3:30, a vehicle, a white launcher coming right here and turning like this. Okay? Then you're going to see a vehicle at about 3:33 driving by like this and leaving the area this way. Then you're going to see it enter the area again at about 3:37. And it'll drive right by the camera again, And then you're going to see it leave this video again and take a right at probably like 3:39. All right. Then at 3:55 or so, it'll pull in like this again, drive by the camera, and then about 3:59, you'll see it drive this way again and take a right and leave. All right. Then at 4:04, you're going to see the car coming in like this. 4:05. Then it's going to go like this. And then probably at about 4:06 and 30 seconds, you're going to see the car driving like this. Then it's going to do a 3-point turn at 4:07 right here. And then drive right by the camera again. And then you won't see the car again until 4:20 when it's zipping by and it takes a right really quick. I just told you. You don't need to, you're not even going to need to watch the surveillance footage. It was that clear. Isn't the camera that caught all four passing the building from... No, I just explained it, Jeff. Hey, thanks, Ryan Sam. Now, I think this camera caught all four passes too. This camera right here, Jeff. The other one has it also. So they both have it. What I'm saying, the way I'm going to be able to do it, when we get them both, Jeff, check this out. Watch this. At 3:30, the vehicle's going to enter the area right here, right? Okay, 3:30. Who gives a shit? Anyways, it comes in like this, right? It takes a left right here, right? Goes like this by the camera. Then you, and then just after that. So let's say it's at 3:30 and 30 seconds. Goes like this, right? Then right after that, it'll look just like this. This camera at 3:30 and 57 seconds will show the vehicle coming around like this, right? And then it goes off the camera. Then, yeah, so that right there is right here, and it's going to come around. I think it waits here for a minute or so, then goes like this, and then we go back to this camera after it drives around. So what you're going to see after it goes by this camera right here, like this, takes a right, comes around, then this camera picks it up as it's leaving. Then when it comes back in, that camera picks it up again, driving this way. Then this camera picks it up as it comes around. And I guarantee it, law enforcement has already put all that together like that. I know, you already said that. You already said that, Jeff. You already said it like 4 times already. Yeah. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, 1320, that's what I read somewhere. But this is where the camera was. That's what matters.
1320 is the building further away, looking straight down Linda Lane to Taylor.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, though. I have the camera in the right spot, right? Yeah. Man, people are just so nitpicky. Let's see. Yeah, so that's this one, and 13. That's what there is a camera on this building too, I think, and it films this street. So there's another video that films a car right here at a different hour that has a sunroof on it, and nobody cares. I mean, everybody's like, "Oh my God, look at it! It's got a sunroof! It's got a sunroof!" All right, I'll fix it there for you, Jeff. I just got it. Yeah, right there, and let me fix the... I think that's right. I think I just moved the pin over instead of typing in the new one. I know, you've said that 9 times, Jeff. Yeah, it's like... Jesus. I fixed it, though. I fixed it. Yeah. So I think originally I had 1320 because there's a camera here too. And I remember you can actually go to Street View and see it. So right here Street View ends. And you can look up there. And there's a camera. I think it's like... I don't remember exactly where you could see it. I know it's up there, though. And that camera was filming another car driving around. Oh my God, there it is! Yeah, you must be a little bit ADD, or not, yeah, ADD or something. I have a million typos in that text file. That must have been making you crap. Anyways, yeah, thank you, though. Yeah, I had like 1,000 errors in the... I mean, I'm just typing really fast because I know what I'm going to be saying. You know, it wasn't like a professionally produced document. It was just sort of like, this is the timeline here. I mean, I'm like that, I guess, when I'm working on a model and I see something that isn't right. I'll have to start all over again and make sure it's correct. Yeah, OCD is what I meant to say. See, there you go. Alley Cat's correcting my ADD instead of OCD. Yeah, I mean, it was just like it's a text file. You know, it's just... I mean, I found while I was going over it, I found a whole bunch of errors in it. I mean, spelling errors. Right, the timeline is correct, and I have the camera here correct. I just had the wrong address on it. I know they do that. Yeah. See, here's the thing: when somebody puts out accurate information, if you make the smallest error, people turn it into this huge thing, right? But if you're one of the wacko conspiracy channels, nobody challenges you on a damn thing you say. They just go, oh, wow, fascinating. That was great. Ooh, that's awesome. But if you put a 2 instead of a 3, oh, my God, it's... You know what I'm saying? Go watch some of the crazy lunatic conspiracy channels and see what the comments are like underneath the videos. They're just so glowingly, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This is amazing. This is... But nobody said, really? So he... it was just unbelievable. So the CIA is covering this up to protect one of their own people? Is that what you're... Can you explain how that's happening? Yeah. Crazy. I can't figure out how. Huh? I don't either, but you shouldn't. Don't type that guy's name in. Yeah, he's an embarrassment. How about the one where someone supposed to be putting drugs into Maddie's mouth? You know what it is? It's the accent, Stem. If you got the accent where you have it's a British accent or some other not, American, accent, like it's like, I can't even do it, man. It's just, if you have a British accent, your credibility shoots out the roof, even if you're saying the dumbest shit that there ever was. Have you ever noticed that? The poor, brilliant, misunderstood graduate student who gets kicked out of school was so triggered, he just had to murder 4 people. A regular temper tantrum just wouldn't do it. Yeah, that's it, man. I wonder, though, if his issues with the school caused problems or something. Like a trigger, not a trigger, but a stressor moment. Although I don't think so. I think his desire to do what he was doing and just him as a person is what screwed up that situation. Because he was still in the program, and he blew up on, I think it was December 9th, which is well after the murders, so, for the second time. So it's hard to say. Yeah. I didn't even know you made videos. Now it makes me sad. Yeah, let's see. Building up and then boom. Yeah. He's a Norfolk accent. Yeah, it's just ludicrous, man. Just today I watched some of that and I was just, really? You're talking about, what the hell was it? It was just why, you know. People who entertain the other shit like a military, there's something greater. You should just run for the hills. I know it's entertaining, man, but it's not real. I know it is. I know it is, Arsamane. I went through all that earlier. Yeah. Yeah, he absolutely changed the play. He timed the murders so that he could have a plausible reason why he changed the plates later. Yeah. Because it was right, you know, like, if he changed the plates right then, I mean, basically he needed to change the plates, so he timed the murder so he could already be changing his plates right after the murders. Let's see. So, is there a drug relationship? No, there isn't. See, that's what these people entertain all the time. Now, oh yeah, narcotics. That's what this clown was talking about. Now, we haven't ruled out the possibility that the narcotics were involved with Bryan Kohberger and perhaps one of the individuals living in the 1122 King Road address. Okay. Yeah. Tell me where the how does this work, the narcotics? Okay, let's see. So Bryan Kohberger sells drugs on top of being a teacher's assistant, and every time he was in Moscow, all those late nights, he was literally just selling dime bags or whatever to one of the girls at the 1122 King Road address, right? And then this night, it was a late one. He was like, hey, man, we really need a score, dude. Can you show up? And Kohberger, being the great man that he is, he took off from Pullman, Washington, but turned off his phone yet again because he knew he was going to be selling drugs that night. So he drove all those miles. And when he got there, he was just about to hand him the drugs when somebody broke in and said, not in my town. This is where I sell drugs. And everything went to hell, and he just got the hell out of there. He had nothing to do with it, though. Where do these people come up with this stuff? Can anybody come up with some plausible explanation for that at all? Yeah. Come on, come up with something. Give me an explanation, a real one, for that it could possibly be a narcotics situation. Who cares if he did heroin 10 years ago? Oh, he was secretly a junkie while he got his bachelor's, master's, and working on a doctorate at the age of 28. And Santa Mom was a deal. Oh, okay, that's it then. Oh, wow. You nailed it, Toy Harry. I hope that was a joke. Okay, so he's a junkie. So why did he go over there? Oh, because they were the ones selling the drugs at 4 in the morning. I see. I get it. Wow. He drove all that way to Moscow, Idaho to buy some drugs. Whew. Wow. Of course, he brought a K-bar knife sheath with him, and going home with the drugs, he drove way out of the way. An extra 30, 40 miles away. Yeah. Well, you allowed me to play off of it, Toy Harry. just bad luck for old Bryan. Yeah, I mean, Bryan Kohberger, like my video from last night, is the most unlucky criminal that's ever lived. All right? Think about it. What an idiot. I mean, just think about how absolutely unlucky that guy is. Now, let's just go back to here. Think how unlucky this is, right? Watch this. At 2:42 in the morning, he was just driving around having fun, you know? He came over here and he was jonesing. You know, he was like, oh, God. You know, so he's right here and he parked his car right down here in this parking lot here, and he was just jonesing, going, ooh, I gotta get something. So then he turned off of his phone at that point. And then got really unlucky because a camera spotted him pulling there, and then this way again it spotted him. And then he was right there. I mean, but he's just out driving around having fun. Then at 3:24, instead of just driving right over to the house to get some drugs, you know, like, hey, let me go get those drugs, he thought he'd take the long way, even though he's jonesing over here. So at 3:26, he drives by 700 Queen Road here, and he's just driving around, not Queen Road, Indian Hill Road, driving up like this. And then he passes, again, extremely unlucky. I mean, he was just out driving, having fun, but his Elantra was caught up and timed so perfectly with the murder, it's almost unbelievable. He drives by the NW here, and then he comes over here to King Road, and now this is where he really started to have some fun. He thought, you know what, this always reminded me of the Indianapolis 500 here, so I can just go around and do these fun little loops here. So he went wee, and went bang around like this, and came around like this, and he came all the way back around. Woo! He was just having so much fun, and he was just doing these loops, and then he did a longer loop at one point probably. Then he came back around again, and he didn't quite have the momentum he needed on one of the loops, so he turned around and did a 3-point turn over here. Then he went, yeah, boom, and he did it in 27 seconds. He just went really fast on that one. 27 seconds, he came around here, and then he was like, oh, God, that was awesome. And he just happened to park right here, and, you know, he was looking at the house, but he was there for 12 minutes just resting after that excruciatingly difficult route that he just took. And then he's looking up there, and he sees a murder take place, and he just can't believe it. So instead of calling 911 or anything like that, he booked it out of there, man. 4:20, he's like, bam, he's gone, man. His phone's still off. He hadn't even thought of calling the police. It's still off the whole time. Then he's driving down here, and he goes, oh, shit, I don't even know where I am. Turned on his phone. And then his phone keeps pinging all the way around here. It's just really incredibly unfortunate. He didn't want to take this route here, but what he saw going on in that apartment was so devastating to him that he thought, I need a long drive to chill out.
Hey, Allah, hey, Allah.
And he played that over and over again. Like I said, everybody, he is the most unlucky person on the planet. What do you guys think? Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. He was framed by another true crime YouTuber that also has a white Elantra. Very, very interesting. God, why didn't you just go here and do the loops? You know, you could have... I don't think that was that big of a mistake. And it doesn't even... It's hard to know. It just used the same towers. That just shows that he drove over there and back. That's just sort of like... That's probably the least important piece of circumstantial evidence. What makes you think it's really important, Pamela, when he drove back the next day? Why does the alibi mention the night of 11/12? Because 11/12 is like 11 o'clock, and then it goes into the morning on 11/13. What's the other big theory? The frat house is in conjunction with the college, so cover up. Yeah. Yeah, he was there to steal. That's right. The protest the use of Yama at another. it's nothing scared. I don't know what that means. Oh, sacred. Well, it's a little bit sacred. I was just saying he needed to listen to that on that drive. BK getting caught knocked him back into reality. Huh? Yeah, I'm right next to the vent again. Yeah, it's gonna be so cool. In my new place, I don't have the vents like that. It's gonna be amazing. Well, what did you guys think of that show? I think I'm done now. Other than the sidetrack for a couple of minutes on the online stalker, hopefully you guys thought it was interesting. Nah, not really. I mean, there is a truck back there that drives away. I think people start hearing things when they listen to the audio. Like somebody says, oh, you can hear dogs barking over and over, and I listen to it.
Great.
Turn up high, and it's just...
At 4:21A, and then 18 seconds later, engine sounds followed by car speeding away like a bat out of hell.
Yeah, you think Bryan Kohberger is? Yeah, I think he is too. Yeah. I think he thinks he's just... I think he's an absolute sociopath or psycho. He doesn't have real emotions. We did this show one time where he smiled over at his attorney, and I panned back. I mean, he smiled, and the smile was gone in 2 frames, which is like almost impossible. I'm not sure if I ever got the response. Oh, Pamela, let's see. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, thank you. Yeah, because he wanted to see what... Yeah, he wanted to see what was happening. I'm sure that's what he was doing, but it doesn't mean much, to be honest with you. It just means that his car was there, and it implies that he was looking at that. But the most damning stuff is just the whole timing of everything leading up, and on that night... how his car traveled over there, it just absolutely nails it. But how can you prove it's his car the whole time, Gray? There's a lot of Elantras in the area. Yeah, but how many of them drive between 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning? Well, not too many, Gray, but yeah, but besides the point. Yeah, the DNA to me is... it's really important, shows him in the house, but I would convict him with this probable cause the way that I just showed it right now. If I was seeing that as a person, I wouldn't have any reasonable doubt. I wouldn't be able to sit there and go, well, it's reasonable for me to think that it wasn't Kohberger in that vehicle. I think one of the key things here in this case to me are these right here. Watch this. These are really key moments. Again, we've gone over this a few times, but the 12 seconds 12 minutes that his vehicle was right here and it didn't leave. A white Elantra that matched his vehicle, which is his vehicle because he says he was driving it around, was right here for 12 minutes. And then knowing that the car leaves this direction, and I think the second, one of the really big things is that his phone pinged right here. This isn't an accidental ping from Pullman over here. And we know that because it continued to ping as it went around like this. So why is Kohberger, look at the timing there, 4:48 and 4:25 he leaves the area here. It absolutely matches up. There is missing time there, But I think that's just because he may have, you know, I actually thought maybe he put something up in this area, in those woods there. But I think that's huge because it shows that Kohberger himself is in this area. That's why this ping right here, this ping and the rest of these are massively important in this case, because you have the Wida launcher matching his in this area, and then they see it leaving or coming down to this area on camera, and therefore it's going to go this way, down 95, and then his phone turns on at 4:48. It's huge, this portion right here. So, anyways, that's it. Yeah, there's people that think he chose the house. I think he targeted the everybody in the house. I don't like when people say he targeted the house. I think a better way to say it is he targeted killing all 4 of the girls that lived there full time. I don't think there was one particular person. Although sometimes I wonder, because looks like he was waiting for her lights to turn off, not Xana's. Because Xana's lights would have still been on from the other side, right? No, not the lack of a murder weapon is not problematic. Especially if they can prove that he bought one similar to it. That matched the K-bar knife sheath. They still would have... well, the funny thing is the DNA led to him. But they also already had his name because he drove an Elantra. So they likely would have probably made an arrest after the search warrant stuff came in on the cell tower ping information, because that would have just been absolutely damning. Hey, Blue. What's going on, bud? Ding, 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 ding. What are you saying? Do you think he knew? No, I don't think he knew Kaylee was there. So I think Kaylee and Ethan are just really, I mean, they're all tragic, but it's like they weren't even supposed to be there. I think he was there. So the reason that it sort of looks like he was targeting Madison sometimes is because he was parking in the back there, and you have a perfect view of her window and Kaylee's, but Kaylee wasn't there at that point. He might not have known that, though. So, you know, on the trips that he was taking driving around, I think Xana's light would have still been on, right? But when he drove around, he finally saw that Kaylee and Madison's lights were off or something, and then he made his move. Yeah. They have to tell the public what? No, they don't have to tell us anything. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody, hit that like button before we get out the door, and also subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. Thank you to Dobby Smith, Ali79. Hold on, let me check something really quick. So thank you, Gray. My super chats aren't working. This is Danette. Chat, but either way, I appreciate your work immensely. You brought cases to visual life, and that squashes the dumb conspiracies. Well, thank you. Well, if you think you're blocked, send me your channel URL. And then thanks to Sue. Oh, and Mag. Jeez, thanks, Mag. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. So Dobby Smith, Ali79, Texas Annie, Humanimal. Maxine Van Dyke. Brown Eyed Girl 714. Kathy Chapin. Caligal 3. Catherine Talk Talk. American Lady. Zoe 413. Simple Life Days. Bridget Bauman. Phenomenal work on the Timeline Gray. Leaves no doubt. American Lady. Troll Fun. Get 'em out. Kick 'em out. Way out. Wave. Daphne. Troll Fun. Home Wreckin' Jen. Thanks for your hard work, Gray. Well, thank you. Texas Annie. Jason Freer. Heather M. Your Gypsy. K. Me. CJ. Let's see. Well, these are people who have been here for a while. Shannon 360. CJ. Renee H. Daphne. Angie Carter, all here for multiple months. WNC Granny. American Lady. Pirate Girl. 8675309. Vibe Chick.
Hey, Allah, hey, Allah.
RC Main. Jeez. Lisa Valenzuela. Ron Bexa. Lisa Murphy. Susie Sandpiper. Teresa P. Wool Lab. Notorious Nance. Said been lurking lately, but always here. Very cool. Hope you're doing okay. Pamela Dasgupta. Never sure if I'm saying that right. I just want Gray to pronounce my last name, she said. Freebird Forever, 14 months. T-Cell Logic. Timothy Cecil. Wow, that's weird. T-Cell and then Timothy Cecil. Wow, what are the odds of that? RC Main. RC Main. Chrissy Kazi. Snarky Cinderella. Katja T. Dina Tall. Chrissy Kazi. Betty Smith. Cape Britain Drone Pilot. Carrie H. Kathy 205. Papa Q. Great car for you. Delta Delta Delta. Turtle Runner. 1 month. Carrie H. Turtle Runner. Dina Tall. Kathy 0205, a new member. Jeff H. Jeff got me to fix that number on there. Thank you. Mary Buckles. Brutally Honest. I keep saying brutality. Brutally Honest. Mark Willis. Love the Sun 100. And then me. I gifted 5 memberships. Yay. Ryan, Sam, Jeff H. Jessica Schubach, 43 months. Gummo, 9 months. Aaron. RC Main. Jeff H. RC Main. And Loretta gifted a membership. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think I said that a long time ago. But, yeah, you could definitely, see from where you park right there. You see it on the news. It's just very easy to see through the windows, So he probably sat there on all those other trips. He made 12 other times Kohberger drove there in the night and used the same cell tower resources as 1122 King Road, except one time was in the daytime. But 12 times, he was driving around, stalking, waiting. No, Gray, he was just selling drugs each one of those times. Okay. Oh, no, he's getting drugs. That's right. Yeah. So you could park there and see the girl, growing, ding, 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 as if Dad didn't think it was him in the end. I got 862 likes. Let's try one more attempt for getting likes, okay, you guys? Here we go. Hit the like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, hit that like button, 30, 30, do I hear 30, do I hear 40, 45, 50, 45, 50, 55, 60, do I hear 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. Okay, I got 9 there. Keep going. Let's get to 900, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 55, 75.
Huh? It's the house!
Well, there you go. I give it a shot. All right, you guys. Thank you very much for being here tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Who the hell knows what tomorrow will bring? Hey, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope, what I really would like you guys to do is once you've seen this put together like this, go out there and battle. Do not let people say all the crazy shit that they say. Don't allow this sentence. Let's just agree to disagree. Forget it, man. Don't do that. That's how we end up with really crazy shit in the world, man. So, anyways, thank you, and see you tomorrow, all right? And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
True crime thing.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a
Crime dissector, the projector,
I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya,
wanna set you if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector
is
my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a top protector. Fool reflector, interceptor, and I'm either in a spectre with a vector on his spectre with a spectrum. Just remember,
I have a temple fucking
injection.
I have no agenda.
I'm a pretender, and I'll give it to you straight without the blender.
And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody? Talk to you.
Good night, everybody. Gee.
Hey, you sound like you sobered up from last night. Remember last night you were like, good night, everybody.
That's not very nice, Gray. You had a rough night yesterday, okay? Today I didn't drink anything, though.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't mind you, having a couple drinks, but it was, I mean, you could barely talk. You remember that?
Gosh, Gray, you noticed that?
I think the whole world did, Mary Lou. The whole world did. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow. Be safe out there.
Good night, everybody. Yay!
Very good. Very good.